Hey everyone, you're listening to 4Player Podcast, a weekly live show about video games. We hope you'll stick around for another year of gaming discussion, fantasy critic hijinks, and of course, general shenanigans here at 4Player. Before we start this episode, we want to send a thank you out to everyone who listens and give a quick welcome to any newbies. I'll try to keep this short because this is, and always will be, an ad-free show. We've been at this since 2008, so if you like what we do, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred podcast service. Join us in our Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, throw us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. We record these episodes live every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out, and episodes hit podcast services on Friday morning. You can find all the links you need at 4playernetwork.com. But enough about that, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 831. It's April 15th, 2025. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons.
Yay!
Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
And Christopher Davis.
Good evening.
I hope y'all are doing well. It's been a week. We didn't do a podcast last week, and y'all streamed, right? Y'all ended up playing something together. What's going on? We
Yeah.
That's not a word. What'd y'all end up playing? I was so out of pocket last week. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
You had fair reasons to
out
be.
of pocket.
So.
You know what out of pocket means? Well, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I misuse the term out of pocket?
Yeah, it's all right.
No, not really.
We played some
You did,
Monster
right?
Hunter GU,
We
but like early game stuff.
we played a bunch of Monster Hunter. We did a bunch of
Nice.
hunts. We did many hunts, and honestly, like I could feel myself getting better at the game. And I sat down and I played more today for the first time since that stream, and I did a couple of hunts, and I was like amazed at how easy it now felt. Like,
Oh,
which I'm only in
you
like
didn't backpedal after that.
3-star hunts. Yeah, I'm only I'm
Yeah.
doing like solo 3-star hunts, which are completely balanced differently because
Right.
they are meant to be played solo. But like, oh man, dude, that Valor Greatsword is so fun. It's so cool. You're just like hitting your chops and then like putting your sword away and then hitting a cool spin and a dash and then doing another big chop. Like, it's perfect.
Pretty sick.
It's great.
Pretty sick.
So
Hard to
have y'all I mean, this feels like a dumb question, but have y'all like moved on from Monster Hunter Wilds already, or is this just like what's going on with that?
No. I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds it's a service game. We're just waiting for the next drop, buddy.
Yeah.
Our
So did
tempo-
y'all already?
It's a games as a service game.
Yeah.
But like,
We're waiting for
my
the
problem-
that wasn't enough content to keep y'all busy for a while.
I mean, I don't think that's fair. I put
Wilds is easy
yeah,
to
I put-
consume quickly.
I put 90 hours into Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, me,
like,
it's
that's
over
not fair.
140.
That's not fair.
Guys,
like,
That I am like, let me tell you, my year so far in the world of gaming, I have not finished a single game, and I have put 93 hours into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that has taken me.
That's a video game.
Right,
That
yeah.
has taken me.
that's a good
like-
game, Nick.
I know, but it's taken me like two. How long has the game been out? Like 2 months to get
Yeah.
90 hours into that game. Oh
Yeah, but
man,
you've been playing other stuff too.
I mean a
busy.
little bit. I mean, I
You're
started
playing
Assassin's
your
Creed,
video
played
game. You're
Split
kind of like
Fiction.
I usually play my video game.
I don't know how you
And-
do
and
this,
you
Brad. This
can't-
is stressing me out.
Because you're insane. You're an insane person. You're like, I played 95 hours of one of the best games I've ever
It
played.
is.
It reminds me of
Yeah.
Red Dead
No,
Redemption
no.
2, and I'm
is.
having a panic attack.
No. It is a
worried-
goat. It is a
You're
goat.
worried that
You-
you're not having like a different, better gaming experience than what
Yeah.
you are having,
Yeah.
but you're having a great one. Like,
No, I'm having an amazing experience.
why don't you
with Kingdom Come
spend
Deliverance
some more
2.
time at home playing video games instead of driving your wife to the hospital to get her fucking
Yeah, what the
gallbladder
fuck,
cut
dude?
out?
What the
Okay.
Yeah,
fuck?
that's.
Like,
Bring your goddamn Game Boy to the ER.
yeah, you could have played Monster Hunter GU while you were sitting in the hospital.
Exactly.
I did play a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadows on my Steam Deck from the room.
Oh God, I was just kidding. What the fuck?
There you go.
I mean, while like literally, I was literally waiting. I had nothing to do.
You've been
so I was-
playing
What's he
Assassin's
gonna do,
Creed.
Brad? He's not performing the surgery. Like
This motherfucker's played hundreds of hours of video games this year, and because he hasn't reached credits, it's like he hasn't done shit. This is how he talk. The way he's talking to himself is the way he talks to me.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're not hitting credits after credits after credits, which means you're
Yeah.
basically not even gaming. What the fuck?
Let me tell you, it is starting to affect the decisions I'm making. Like I am prioritizing South of Midnight, not because I'm like loving the game. We'll talk about this game tonight, but like
Oh, Nick's
I'm-
not loving it.
I'm not loving South of Midnight.
I wasn't loving it either, and I started
Oh,
playing something else.
I'm
no, they were right.
But I'm playing it because it's a game I know I can hit credits on fairly quickly, and I can at least like I can relieve some of the pressure. Like
You just want the notch on your bedpost, Nick. That's
I
all you're in it for.
I sure
That's
do.
all you're in it for. That's why the Japanese game list was like so motivating for you.
Yeah, no,
Right?
there's some truth to that for sure, for sure. But you know, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, guys, such a good fucking game.
This
Holy
motherfucker
shit.
bagged a Persona game early in the year and just moved on with his life like it was nothing. Everyone else was in love with Persona. He just, for him, it was a one-night stand.
It wasn't one
90
night.
hour
That's-
one night stand.
That
Well, yeah.
that's sure. Okay, real quick before we get too far, because Zero Skies is calling me out in chat because he wants to
He
call me
calls
out.
out
For,
everyone.
well, yeah. But he's saying because I started watching that Devil May Cry anime, right? I'm watching.
Wow.
I come
You're
to
watching
find out
anime?
it's not made in Japan.
I heard that's like illegal.
Is it not made in Japan?
Well,
No.
Because the irony,
No,
because
the
like,
guy
You
who made it
motherfucker,
is
it's the
like-
dude who made Castlevania. He's
Yeah.
not
is it not made in Japan?
Japanese. No.
Oh,
You're
Dude, I
watching
don't
white
know.
guy anime.
oh Nick.
Literally all the ones you watch have been
Oh,
white
Nick.
people anime. Cyberpunk
Wait,
as
start-
well.
start rattling off anime
what
you
was
like, Nick.
Cyberpunk Japanese?
Wait, Cyberpunk wasn't Japanese?
I think maybe
Wasn't that-
Cyberpunk was
Wasn't that
actually.
Studio Trigger?
No, I think Cyberpunk. was
Somebody in chat must know about Edge Runners. I mean,
Yeah, but Mike
Runners was
Pondsmith
Japanese.
isn't Japanese, so ugh.
It clears. It clears. So
look,
you
I
watched.
was
You
doing,
watched a bona fide Japanese anime.
but that was like
well-
that was like 2 years ago.
Dude, how
That's
good
true,
was
that was
Edge
a while.
Runners though? I
Dude,
fucking
Edge
love
Runners
that.
was so good.
So good. I've been thinking about watching it again lately. I was just,
Yeah.
And then you're gonna play.
so cool.
And then you're gonna play the game on your Switch.
Yeah,
too, right?
I'm gonna fucking finish goddamn Blood Eagle. What's it called?
Blood Eagle, and that's it.
So real quick,
Sons of the
guys,
Patriots.
tonight again, we didn't have a podcast last week. We're gonna play a little bit of catch up here. We got some new games. I'm gonna talk about South of Midnight. We're also gonna talk a little Blueprints, which is kind of the
Before
new
we
hotness,
get
new
into the
controversial hotness.
gaming,
But before we get into the gaming,
we should talk about The Last of Us episode 1.
sure,
yeah.
I'll talk
Season
about
2,
that.
episode 1. Oh,
I haven't watched it yet.
Watched it the other night.
I
yeah,
still
I, did.
watched season 1.
I watched it.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know.
You played the game, Crispy. You don't
I
need
don't.
that.
I don't think. I don't like. Look, I don't have anything against this existing. I don't. If you sit here and tell me it's good television, I believe you. But,
It's better than good television. I would. I
It
mean,
is good
It's
television.
solid.
okay.
It's solid.
It's fucking solid, man. It
you
is.
know what I realized though?
It's
watching
not
this
Star
first
Trek.
Episode. So this okay.
Wow, come
whatever.
on.
Yada yada yada.
I've watched more.
Whatever.
Okay.
Motherfuckers watching Star Trek. It's fine. It doesn't matter. That's not the conversation. The conversation is to talk about the episode. It was very much like kind of the game, right? I will say,
Well,
watching this episode, they get to like various moments from the game, and I'm like, that scene did kind of hit in the game, and I guess on the show is just. To me, like this episode reminds me of those episodes of season 1 where it was just a lot like the game, which was very cinematic, right? And I'm kind of
Yes.
more interested in like the episodes where they really kind of did their own thing, like season 1 had.
Well, sure, and those are coming. And this is literally the first episode, and you can
but
already.
I will say, despite that, like there was like some resonant moments because I really like the Last of Us games.
You can
and-
already see. Well, sorry. Go ahead. You had finished.
Like because there's a scene from the first episode that was also like basically a trailer, like the like they should be terrified of you trailer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's a good scene in the show, but it was a good scene in the game. But like,
Right.
really, it was that trailer that was sick, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's just a good line. That's a good
Yeah. No.
line, and that line hits in that trailer even harder because it's all like cut between like ultra
Yeah.
violence and stuff. And I'm like, it's still a good line, but yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of made me excited about. One of my problems with The Last of Us, what the fuck? The Last of Us 2? Is it just called The Last of Us 2?
Part 2 is what it's called.
Part 2 was that it's like, well, this is getting a little long in the tooth. Maybe this section should be a little shorter. Really, this game still hasn't in. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have any of those problems with it as a show, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it more than the way the story was delivered to me in the game, despite the game having really good, powerful moments like here and there.
I mean,
Have
I
they?
look, one thing I don't want to do right here, because I will gladly go down a rabbit hole where we talk about why I think everyone's complaints about the pacing in the game. I disagree with the pacing issues people bring up.
We've been new. We disagree.
I don't want to go
certain
down there,
things.
but like there are definitely. I mean, the strength of the first season of the show was always that like it stayed very faithful, but it also found really smart places to like diverge and do something new and unique. And I'm not even just talking about like episode 3 where they did Billstown or whatever, where it was totally different and unexpected, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But like they found really interesting places to like subvert your expectations. While also staying very, very familiar, and they do that. They're starting to do that already in season two. And like you can, and one of the big lingering questions has always been like, how are they going to tell the story in the format of a TV show? Because obviously it's structured very differently because it works that way for a game. It may not work that well in this context of a show, but you're already starting to kind of see how they're moving things around, like scenes that. Like there are scenes that you don't see until much later in the game that they're already starting to show in this season of the show. But like the things that the supermarket scene in the show, which was just like a gameplay moment, primarily in the early part of the game, they use that as a moment to introduce an entirely new
new lore.
They well, not even new lore. I mean, the stalker creatures are in
That's true.
The Last of Us, but like
if it definitely felt like new enemy type discovered in the show.
Yeah, but like they're kind of weaving that like in the game. It's never like a super dramatic like, oh my god, they're evolving. What's going on? This is like, and they're working that into like the humans have become very comfortable dealing with the infected, and now it's kind of like they're changing. What the fuck is happening? And that's interesting.
You're right. It's cool. It'll be good. We'll talk more as it goes. But can I ask you a quick question? Because I was a little confused. Because I don't remember. I just played The Last of Us 2 once at release. How much? It might be a little weird. How much Abby was there at the very start of that game? Did you play as her like right away?
As Abby at the very,
but like very small sections here and there.
No, it's a pretty large section.
Yeah, Joel like finds her and then that's the first gameplay section.
No, first. I mean, you play as Ellie, or you play as Ellie going into Jackson
doing her patrol
earlier. Yeah, and then they do the patrol, and then it switches over to when they have the whole thing where they get snowed in to the place, and they're in the pot farm, and then I think that's where it kind of shifts perspectives because Joel goes out looking for Ellie. So it shifts perspective. All of a sudden, you're playing as Abby, and you have no idea who she is.
Okay, so you have no idea who she is. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's like important, right? And
yes.
and then we're not gonna spoil anything here, but there's you as a player of the game, like they're doing some interesting things there with like how a player might feel about certain characters and whatnot.
Right.
And I feel like with the show, they might be showing a little too much. Like, I'm worried that they're going to make people like sympathetic towards Abby before they should even decide maybe they don't want to be sympathetic towards Abby. Or, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a different approach. And I'm like, all right, well, please don't do too much Abby stuff because otherwise this is not going to work in the same way.
What I will say, and this, sorry if this sounds like a cop out or anything, but and I said this when we were watching the first season of the show, because they do that companion podcast or whatever, and Craig Mazin talks through each of the episodes, and I listened to the one for this episode, and they spend a pretty good chunk of time talking about how their approach to introducing Abby is different in the show to the game, and
Like
why they ultimately
specifics?
decided to do that. And it's an interesting conversation. I mean, so you'll kind of have to decide. Well, we'll have
It's
to wait
weird
to see
that they've
how it, like,
talked
works
a
out.
lot about that already.
Well, I mean, like they talked about the first episode, and the first scene of the episode is literally.
Oh, you've already
here's
watched.
Abby.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna consume that content,
I
but
know, I'm just saying, like that's,
I'm
if
curious to
it was-
see
if
how
that was
people are gonna feel about those characters up into a certain point. You know,
Sure, I am too.
because the game was definitely about making you feel a certain way and then kind of like tearing down those walls. Whatever. Let's just move on.
You're right. Hey, you brought it up.
It's a good game.
Okay.
It just had too much at the end. Whatever.
Let's where are we going? Where are we going for it? Brad, I know you wanted to talk about your
There's no question where we're starting because I made it very clear we're starting with Nubby's Number Factory. Duh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
the and more of the podcast, right, Nick?
The true goat of the show. Yes.
We should just call my segment the and more.
Just to spite you, I put it in the. Did the title get updated wrong? I don't fucking know. Anyway, whatever.
Nubby's Number Factory. Have you heard about this?
Out of the title.
You heard about this? Nubby's Number Factory. It's just textbook, Nick. You know, you saw one screenshot because that's it. You only look up.
I went into Discord and I said, "Hey guys, who's gonna be on the show tonight, and what do y'all have?" And I have Blueprints. I have South of Midnight. And Brad's like, "Oh, I have Nubby's Number Factory." And I was like, "Not mentioning that one." That's how you scare listeners away.
No, you looked at a screenshot and then decided.
Actually, I didn't even bother.
Okay, well, everybody look at this beautiful footage. Here, okay. Crispy, I'm talking to you here because you're going to know all these touch points.
Okay.
How do you feel about Balatro? I don't know. Are you a Balatro head?
Yeah,
Chris Davis, you're a Balatro head. How do you feel about Peggle? We love Peggle. Y'all love Peggle, right?
Peggle's a pretty good game. I hear that any spinoff of Peggle that's maybe like a little bit roguelike is actually pretty good.
Okay, shut up.
Is this like Ball Alien?
Oh, wait. Now, Crispy? Carlos? How do you feel about Hypnospace Outlaw?
Oh, well.
You lost me.
Is that really what is going on here?
Dude, it's like Balatro meets Peggle with like a fucking GeoCities aesthetic. And
yeah, it does look like something that would come preloaded on a gateway PC.
Yeah, dude. It's like, but from like the music to all the little like
it's like Space Cadet Core.
Why am I zoomed in? Okay, I'm zoomed.
I'm like watching like what?
Yeah, this game looks stupid as fuck, dude.
It's so good. It's addictive as fuck. So, but that's the thing. Peggle meets Balatro meets like peak aesthetic and peak sound effects. Unfortunately,
peak
like Chris Davis for the podcast. Can you turn the audio on right now for this gameplay? Don't
It's a terrible idea.
These people need to hear what I hear when I'm playing this game.
Yeah,
but like, Nick has to edit the podcast, so if he says yes, then I will.
Ignore Nick. He's always fucking like this. Just this time.
I mean, also
give us a little audio.
That's not going to come up on the y'all's Audacity recording. You just.
As Northern Lion once said, the sound effects are basically Andy Bernard going.
I will say this: if you fuck this podcast up, Brad, you're editing the show.
What up? Our podcast is fucked up. Like this is a fucked up podcast. Whatever, dude. I just wanted a little bit of sound effects, and of course,
it's playing. It's playing.
This is the cafe. Yeah. Once you've kind of unlocked all your slots from like the regular part of the store, the cafe unlocks, and you can feed your mouth wonderful foods that'll give you various bonuses and whatnot.
Let's see your mouth.
Yeah, dude, y'all not have like nostalgia for like old internet, like GeoCities, like cool little look, this web page has a little animated GIF that's so sick.
My nostalgia for GeoCities was building Dragon Ball Z websites on GeoCities.
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day. That's
yeah.
one of the
And you know,
one of the things Nolan and I bonded over.
glistening fucking Dragon Ball down at the bottom of the page or the top of the page, one on the left of the website name and one on the right.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like
The
that,
little
that's,
flames,
dude,
yeah.
that's the aesthetic of this game, and it's so good. And let me tell you, the music and the sound effects are peak. And Chris Davis,
Is it good because this
Fuck
is
you.
like
give us some audio. Give us
Is
some
it-
audio.
It's playing, motherfucker.
we can't
Oh, we can't
we
hear
can't
it.
hear.
Yeah.
Brad, are you
Oh.
dumb?
It's just been
Are
said
you
like 14
dumb?
times, buddy.
Yeah, what are you?
But I can't hear it.
stupid?
Nobody
Yeah,
can
you
hear
know
it
what
except our audience.
We
And you know what
can't hear it.
happens? You know what happens if you try to if you unmute the stream so you can then hear it, then you can hear us. It becomes a loop. You
Is
can hear
this-
us
No,
talking.
I'm not gonna listen to it.
Okay,
Chris Davis.
guys, shut up. Brad, is this good
That's fine.
because it's like a deep, rich gameplay experience, or is it good because it like makes the good chemicals in your brain go?
Both. I mean, like both. Maybe more one than
just
the
see a
other.
lot
but,
of
but,
like,
but like this is
like
a
numbers
game
going
that
up.
is like. No, there are like builds here, right? Like much like Balatro looks like nonsense, but once you
This
understand that the
motherfucker.
different jokers are like dramatically influencing like the score, then yeah, it is that sort of experience. It is like all the different like spinning things and moving things at the top of the screen. That's like my jokers, right? Like from have you played Balatro? Who here has played Balatro? Just Chris Davis?
What are you talking about?
Everybody
We've
but
all
me,
played
Brad.
I've played a shit ton of Balatro.
Okay, so you do know what I'm talking about. In which case,
Everybody
that's
but
the
me.
kind of experience it is, right? Peggle at its core, but it's all about the like this game gets into the numbers that Balatro doesn't even dare fuck with. So much so that there's a button to just say stop before your game crashes. But like sometimes you just want to let it ride, right? Because the vibes are so good. Because it gets up into the multipliers get up real
I feel like he
crazy
keeps saying
real
it's
quick.
so
It goes
the
infinite. It
vibes are
goes
so
infinite.
good.
Gamble core
vibes.
dopamine dippers. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, the
right?
vibes.
This is like a.
like I don't know what to tell you. Watch a trailer. We
it's,
should. Yeah.
Is this okay? How similar is this to Ballionaire?
I haven't played Billionaire, but that's a post Balatro like, so it's probably similar. But that is more
Hey.
like you're putting stuff on the pegs to influence the ball.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
you're just letting it rock, Peggle style.
There's even.
and-
Brad keeps saying things like the vibes are just so good, but I can't help but feel like really it's just like this is like a kink like that he has, and it's not like universally like appealing. It's just
homie,
This isn't like, yeah, you like this because there's something wrong with you. Like,
no, but like what? No, like again, y'all don't understand because you're not listening to this game. And neither is Chad apparently.
I am installing it. As we
Brad is listening to it, and he's at full
Yeah.
mast.
This is it's not like Balatro's successful, but like this is this was a flavor of the month
This
or
is
whatever,
bad.
of the week or whatever. This
It's
popped off a little bit.
155 megs.
I mean, it's
like
no
the giant
animal,
shark.
Okay, it's-
You'd be done, installed. You'd be a fool not to try
yeah,
it.
it is a numbers go up game, but let me tell you,
Stream just died.
that sort
Oh,
of
never mind,
like
I came
the
back.
tingly feeling from all the sound effects feels a little bit better than just the score lights on fire like from Balatro. Like it's leaning into that sensation.
Why do all of the most
Hey.
like mechanically rich, like interesting, evocative games of the last few years have to be just like this? Like
Ugly? It's
Well,
not. The thing is, it's beautiful.
ugly as shit.
But like, what have you played Hypnospace Outlaw?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So it's that kind of vibe, but in a different sort of game.
Yeah. I mean, and
And it's good.
that worked. That worked there. Hypnospace Outlaw made me think of like Quadrilateral Cowboy. But
Oh.
I think of that.
That's
Every
game.
time somebody says Hypnospace Outlaw,
is.
I'm thinking of Quadrilateral Cowboy. I don't know why.
No,
Those two
I'm
things
not-
feel very.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
I know. I'm
That
saying
kind of-
that. Like that's just
that
a
kind
that's a
of,
me
like-
problem.
retro future core.
I mean, it's done So like it's not like so original. It's been done here and there. I think Hypnospace Outlaw is one of like the best representations of that era. And I think this kind of at least nails the look and feel of that.
Winamp Simulator.
and you know, it's good. It has the dopamine of the number goes up for sure. And like when it goes infinite real quick. and it just says you broke the game, and it just goes up and up and
Hooray!
up. And it gets into the like I don't even know what you call them. I don't know what numbers that high are called, but they have names. The
So when you break the game, did you win?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not hard to win, but and like it has an endless mode like Balatro, but like when you break the game, it's like you're literally creating infinites, I think, and it would just keep going if you don't just shut the game off. Not the whole game, but you have to like shut that that level off. It's gonna stop. But it's good. The funny thing is you can go from like, oh, I just created an infinite, and then you like move, like kind of like moving a Joker. You like move one thing to a different slot because you have a lot of like, this thing's triggering this thing, which is triggering this thing, and if you mess up that chain, you can like all of a sudden like fail the level. So you can go from like an infinite to, oops, I shouldn't have sold that item. And part of the fun of the game is just kind of figuring out like, why is this like struggling in a run, like, oh my god, like you're just barely getting through like the score, like level clear score or whatever, and then you like move one item over, and then all of a sudden you just created an infinite, and you're like, wait, what did I do, what's happening? And you're like, oh, I see. Sick. But yeah, Nubby's Number Factory, the and more of the podcast. Thanks, Nick, for letting me go first. It's like $5. It's like $5, I think, as most of the best indie games are these days. So, you know, like a Vampire Survivors.
Living on a budget. What can we say?
I mean, Vampire Survivors is like, I think, part of this wave of, you know, you could just make really cheap indie games that might not look beautiful, but you know, they scratch that certain part of your spinal cord or whatever the fuck that
Certain part of your spinal cord.
Yeah. That feels good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So we're saving blueprints for the second segment, which I suppose means now would be the time for me to talk about South of Midnight.
Yeah. The footage is uploaded, by the way, Chris Davis, so you can add it whenever you want.
Yeah, South of Midnight.
I played like 45 minutes of that.
I the more I have played of South of Midnight, I constantly find myself thinking Brad hates this game.
What?
Probably. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm just like, well, you've only played 45 minutes.
You mean
probably
you're
don't even
finding
know
things in the game that you know I would not like?
No, it's the fact that I'm not finding anything that you would like. Does that make sense? Okay, let's talk about South of Midnight, right? Because this is the new game from Compulsion Games, right?
Building or something? What are you trying to say?
No. Listen. I like to think you often say, Brad, that we've been recording this podcast for 15 years and you know my taste, and I feel like it kind of goes both ways. And
yeah,
there are Compulsion Games, right? This is the studio that made
Contrast, and We Happy Few.
We Happy Few are the two big ones, right? And we've frequently kind of talked about how like their games are fairly simple. They're either kind of simple or kind of borked, depending on.
Because the word people.
I mean,
use.
Right, and this definitely right from the outset seemed like, okay, this is definitely their most ambitious thing this studio has ever done. It's been kind of like a something that Microsoft's been focusing on a lot at a lot of their showcases, right? This is
one of the studios they bought. I mean,
yeah, it's one of the studios they bought, and it takes place in the Deep South, and it's all about like folklore, like bayou folklore and whatnot.
Gothic, Southern Gothic folklore stuff. We know what you're talking about,
yeah,
Louisiana.
And it's also very notable for its like art style, right? Because they did kind of like the Spider-Verse thing, right? With the where they took frames out, right? So you kind of had that like
more subtle here. I feel like if
Yeah,
you're gonna
it's
do
not as
that, you
impressive here
gotta
as it is in
commit. You gotta
Spider-Verse.
commit because in between just kind of looks like maybe something is not running right sometimes. Sometimes.
I mean,
I feel like if you're gonna do it, you need to commit. But whatever.
yeah, and I do think where
Creole
this game
core, as Twigs
we're coming up with all kinds of new genres. So we got gamble core, Creole core, all the cores tonight. So the strengths of this game are almost all it is far because at this point I'm probably like halfway through it. I've played it like 6 or 7 hours. All the strengths of this game kind of appear to be in its presentation. It's a beautiful game. Like the art style is beautiful. It's for the most part very technically sound. It has a great soundtrack. It has vibes out the wazoo.
Oh, I know what you're thinking about when you're playing this game. You're like, Brad's probably so fucking annoyed by this shit. It's that terrible clamoring around that's like so meaningless and there for no reason.
I mean, look, that's not all that I'm alluding to. It's one of the things, but like, I wish I had more nice things to say about this game because I am enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the character. I wish there was a better game around it because it's a game about kind of like really light platforming through a fairly linear level design with a kind of like really uninspired platforming, really lazy I don't want to. That sounds really
lazy is not the word. It's just like the most
uninspired. It's uninspired platforming, right? And you know, if this game came out 15 years ago, I feel like maybe it'd be getting away with a lot of the stuff, but like so much of it is just it's generic. The combat, you can always identify when you're about to go into it. Like you don't just like wander around a world and then bump into enemies and engage in combat. Combat takes place in these very predetermined little arenas that you find throughout, and it's always the same.
It feels like a fucking PS2 game at times.
It does a little bit, but like the thing that I was specifically alluding to,
not in a good way.
When I said
sometimes you say it reminds me of a PS2 game in parentheses.
They're great
good,
PS2 games,
and then you have reminds me of a PS2 game in parentheses. Maybe
bad.
Not so good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they're obviously amazing PS2 games. It's just like as far as platformers and adventure games go, like it does not feel like a modern one of those. Like it feels like things close. That, you know, but the thing specifically that made me constantly think to myself that Brad's not going to enjoy this game and is probably going to put it down fairly quickly because it doesn't get better. Because at this point I'm, you know, like I said, I'm about like halfway through it, so I've seen a lot. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on like what this game is and what to expect, and it gives you very little opportunity to like venture off the path and like find things and like but the only thing you're finding really are like little bits of experience that you can use to like upgrade, to, like move through a very very small skill tree, like really simple skill tree. So like, but it like none of the like little distraction paths that you go down to like find hidden secrets are interesting, and when you find those things, they're never fun or interesting or exciting. And there's not like gear. There's not even, like there's lots of notes, like a lot of like the story like side stuff that you. Like when there's actually like cutscenes and stuff, and like there's actually big story moments, they're really good. But like all the other stuff that you're finding throughout the world to like give you more of the lore is all just like really short little boring notes. Yeah,
I will say like I never expected to be too wowed by the gameplay in this game. I just never.
I don't think I had.
In fact, mostly because
but...
I think this developer probably just couldn't make a game that on a gameplay front would be all that interesting to me, and I was only really playing it for the vibes. I heard the music, I liked the look, and that's kind of why I was interested.
And that stuff's great. That stuff's good, I think.
Well, what actually made me lose the thread, no pun intended, was that I thought like the writing was actually kind of like middling, and interactions between characters and other characters and characters in like certain moments felt very off in a way I was not expecting. Like why? Like it feels wrong that she said that here or had that reaction here, or like maybe the most like traumatic thing of her life just happened and she's like
she's very
just said like
nonchalant
the
about
most
the
insane like
her
off
house just got
tone
swept
thing.
away with her mother still in it, and like
Probably dead is what you would assume in that situation. And then she says a line that feels very like it reminded me of like a little bit of I don't know how to say it. Like Life is Strange season 1 where it's like this is a little off.
like
Instead of the
no person would be this nonchalant about what just
yeah.
happened, and but like at the same time also I do think a lot of it comes across, it's like it's supposed to feel very kind of like a storybook, kind of like a fairy tale kind of thing, like
I wish
it's
it
just
was
kind
more
of,
like that.
I mean it certainly does start to get more like that the farther you go, because she's going on this grand adventure to kind of like find her mom who has been
Yeah.
swept away and kidnapped by these like fairy tale creatures and stuff, and I think her kind of reactions to everything is just very much kind of like, oh, this is normal, like this is the
Well,
world that we live in. But
yeah, but like that's sort of hyper real, real. But that's not even what I'm talking. Like people in chat are like, "That just happened." Forspoken Court. That's not what I'm referring to. That's what, and I know that's like the lazy thing people go to when they want to like tear down the writing of a game or something. Of like, oh, it's like that just happened. I get it, but that's not what I'm referring to here. Me, it's more of just a like mismanaging tone or like writing is the writing doesn't feel
Right?
tight, yeah, at all. It feels kind of sloppy to me. Like this scene could have been way better written, and the performances, like I'm starting to think that like they didn't have good like a good like scene director or whatever, like for the when they had people in the booths actually like doing the performances, like it feels like maybe a better writer backing that up and a better
I
like
mean, I don't
director kind
disagree.
of directing those scenes would have led to a much more. I was expecting something like a fucking Ninja Theory, like an Enslaved, where the gameplay is kind of whatever,
I'll
but
tell you
like
what.
the shit that Ninja Theory is good at is so good, I don't care. Same thing with like Heavenly Sword, like those cutscenes and those characters and those interactions they rip, so I can forgive middling gameplay. I was disappointed because
They're both
those
middling here.
cutscenes and stuff and that writing and that acting is not on that level. So I kind of backed away from this thinking I'm not gonna find much out of the gameplay. I know that, and at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna get much out of the story and the writing. I think it's only
I
gonna be the
I'm
music and the aesthetic.
I am a
And
little bit on the struggle bus here at this game. Because I do think like the aesthetic and the soundtrack is pretty excellent, and like that kind of like elevates a lot of what's going on around it. Like the trailer, the coolest thing in the trailer was when I started, they kind of made it, they showed like the gliding that she was doing, like trying to get away from the alligator, right?
yeah.
And I was like, okay, so like traversal, and kind of like I thought it was gonna be kind of like a semi-open world with like some light traversal elements and like flying around, which would have been pretty cool. But like the gliding, the flying around, you don't even upgrade that. It barely lasts for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then you like drift down to the ground or whatever. So like I feel like the trailer in and of itself was kind of misleading. So
There's
yeah,
cool
man.
moments where like songs with lyrics are playing during big story moments, right? Like I've watched
That sounds good.
reviews and it seems like there is some good stuff in there, but I just was a little more disappointed with it than I was excited. I was gonna play this, and it was gonna be a story game that Malia can watch while I play, because she didn't want to do all the shitty platforming, but she'd be
Yeah.
there for the vibes and the story. And we were both just kind of like looking at each other, going, "Ew." But
Slade
we
wants
just
to
got
know.
through watching Severance season 2. Maybe our bar was set a little high, but I was just a little
Yeah, it's
disappointed.
definitely ain't that. But like, it Slade is asking how often you talk to the giant catfish. You talk to him a lot, and he's pretty great. I like some of the creatures and the characters. It's
He
pretty good.
does look sick.
He's
He
cool.
looks
Like I think this game, like
this
it's
studio
funny
has
you brought
great
it.
fucking artists and talent. There's a lot of talent
If
at this studio. I'm worried they don't have people there that can put that stuff together well. Like
this is definitely going to be.
when that sorry when that house first floats down that very like hyper real fucking river, and the mom goes away in the house, but it's a very traumatic moment because they're like worried they're gonna die, and the music that starts playing is a little too like upbeat. Like
Yeah.
it felt wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, they clearly have a talented person making the music for this game, but the person who decided like where this went and the scene that it fits with fucked up. They fucked this up. And it was very strange. And again, my wife agreed with me on that stuff.
No,
Disagreeing on a lot of
I'm not
things.
disagreeing with you either. I think it's a little, there's something a little bit off and off-putting about it, whatever. And it's just everything around it's just a little too thin and shallow. Like I don't know if I'm gonna finish this game. I really don't.
But
I
this
want
is what you're short, boy. You needed
fucking know, man. I
easy
fucking know.
credits.
I can't finish a game this year. I don't know what's fucking going on. But like every second I'm playing this, I'm kind of like I could be spending this playing more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because that game is fucking sick. But also the funny thing that you bring it up, man, if Ninja Theory made this game would be fucking sick.
Right?
I would be this would probably go from like a game that's probably going to be very forgettable at the end of the year to like maybe one of the highlights of the year because I feel like their artists and like their technical like their gameplay design know-how would elevate everything at just enough that it would like put it over the edge and make
You know
this
what
like
the sad
a really
reality
great,
is?
memorable.
Microsoft's going to shut down both these studios. So really, who gives a shit? Am I right?
Fucked up. I mean, I don't want that. I just think maybe they.
I don't want it
like,
either. I don't want it either. But
the other
they
thing.
closed the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush, which sold.
Let me
better
tell you,
and reviewed better than.
Let me tell you,
probably Hellblade 2.
The other thing I wanted to make sure I mention, and this drives me fucking crazy, is that like at the beginning they're teaching you all these little like kind of like contextual things so you can know what to look for, so you can know like when you see this you can use this ability to get past it, whatever. That shit never goes away. I am 6-7 hours into this game, it's still telling me you can latch onto this thing with like the little icon will appear, or you can use your power to knock these things down.
This
it's like,
developer has no idea what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to make a video game.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
They're bad. They're bad. This is why I said this was Fantasy Critic poison. And look, it honestly ended up scoring better than any game they've ever released, right?
This will be the game that they're remembered for as being like, this is their best game. I guarantee you, this is the best game they've made so far.
Of course,
and that's great. They're moving in the right direction. They just need to
Are
like
they gonna
focus
have
on their
chance.
I don't know, but they need to focus on their gameplay. They need to tighten that shit up because this game could be something special if they were just like focused on level design and like putting some like actual interesting like hidden secrets and stuff in here and tightening up the writing a little bit and making the gameplay a little less bland, because that's what it is. It's bland. It's
people. It seems to me like critics have been semi-generous for this game, honestly.
And I think it's vibes, man. I think it's vibes all the way.
Sure. But like, man, I just don't think this studio has it, man. That first trailer was still the best thing that this game ever had, and the second best thing it ever had was maybe the second trailer. How about the introduction? When you first boot up the game and it's like that claymation shit.
Yeah. It's cool.
Incredible. But like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Anyways, that's all I got. I don't know if I'm going to finish this because I that's 7 hours I could have been spending on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That's where it's just, I'm getting like, I thought the other day, I was like, I've got to be getting close. I've got to be getting close to the end of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So I Googled a guide to kind of look at the missions where there's still like 15 story missions for me left in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I'm closing in on 100 hours.
Dang. And then after credits, you got to play as Jack.
But it's so fucking good. It's so good. I can't. Jack, yes. Okay. Jack from Red Dead Redemption. Yes.
I got it. Okay. Okay.
I have a really hard time believing that anything is going to come out this year that makes me think it's better than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The year is young, my friend. The year is young. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like Donkey Kong or any, the games we're popping for, but you'll find some you shit. You'll find some you shit.
I mean, Death Stranding 2 comes out this year.
True.
Crispy?
Yote. I could see
Crispy?
you
Everyone's
being a Yote
saying,
girly.
I
everyone's
still don't
saying
believe Yote.
Blueprints is game of the year material.
We'll
Dude,
talk
Jason
about it when
Schreier
we
saying
get to
Blueprints is like
game of all time material.
a goat. Which, to each their own.
Which
but,
I just what's with the
Yeah.
hostility towards people loving things? What the hell? What are you?
welcome
me?
to my world, bro. Y'all, this is. I've been saying this shit for years. And now Brad's finally saying it out loud. What the fuck?
Yeah, but this game is good.
All right. Why don't we take a break?
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk about Blueprints. We'll talk a little bit about Fantasy
guess,
Critic. And don't let me forget, I do want to briefly mention, because one of the major things that's happened since the last time we recorded, we talked about the Nintendo Direct and the Nintendo Switch 2, right? And then the tariffs happened. And now there's talk about the fucking price.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's gonna
going
be
up,
$600.
which
for
is-
sure going up.
Maybe
Maybe.
120%.
maybe because it hasn't officially happened yet, but like at the same time, I'm just like that is like I've never seen that happen before. It's insane. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Blueprints, talk about Fantasy Critic, and all that stuff. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Oh my God, they're raising the price of the Switch too.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah.
right?
They're
fuck.
raising
they definitely
prices
are.
on everything.
600.
Who would have guessed that the second console that I'm ever going to spend $600 on would be a Nintendo product? Hey,
By the way,
maybe
Nintendo is not going to raise the price. The people selling it to us are going to raise the fucking price.
sure, right? Yeah,
Because they can't get it over here for the price that Nintendo wants to sell it for. Of course, it's going to go up.
Because apparently there's
Gamers,
still
rise up already! Come on!
because there's still an abundance of people who don't really understand how tariffs work.
Yeah.
Let's take the capital.
And anyways, so that's a thing that's happening. God, what the fuck was I gonna say? I was just any chance that like if they let's say they raise the price to $5.99, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean we're suddenly not as worried about it being so scarce? Like, is the number of people
No.
willing to go out and spend that money?
People are willing to
Gonna
spend
go
that money
drop
because
dramatically?
Scalpers.
Nintendo is royalty. Like, people are willing to spend that extra money on it.
I mean, I
Also,
feel like there's a few people in
scalpers
this
hit
call
different.
who are like, I might not
No.
do it.
Yeah, but like the scalpers will. I mean, does
Yeah.
the fact that a graphics card costs like $1,500 stop scalpers from buying them all up? No.
No,
Right?
that's true. That's true.
Like it's going to
Scalpers
be
fuck
fucked.
us. Scalpers gonna fuck
I'm
us.
just worried that Nintendo's going to be like, fuck it, just put out pre-orders, and I'm going to be not available, and I'm not going to be able to order one. And man, if the thing costs $600, the scalper's price is going to be crazy.
Well, the word today is
Brad,
that according to some Canadian retailers, pre-orders will open up next week.
Well, so here's the good
If
news.
by chance you are not around when they go on sale, and I happen to get in there, I will get a second one.
There's going to be if it's $1 over $600, do not buy me one.
Well, I mean, if it's $1 over $600 and then you give me $600, I'll take the $1
No,
hit.
I'm saying if they're like it's going to be $100, sorry guys, don't buy me a Switch.
Oh,
Here's the thing. I don't know what's going to
that's-
happen. The good news is I need to Switch 2 for Metroid Prime 4, and Metroid Prime 4 still doesn't have a release date. So I'm not going to take the chance of like trying to get one later because we know that can be a very long time, especially with Nintendo probably trying to figure out what the fuck they're supposed to do in the day-to-day. But so I am going to try to get one at launch, but really it's like I don't give a shit about Mario Kart, never have, never will probably. DK looks cool, but really Metroid is the one where I don't want to be slumming it on a Switch 1, even though it probably runs okay. To me, it's got to look.
You at least got the OLED Switch 1?
I got an OLED. Also, you
Okay.
can't
Well, there's
just
at least
plug it
that.
into a TV. But like to me, that's not a handheld game. I'm not like I hate to break it to you, but like handheld is not the way. It's disrespectful to certain games for me. Like it's disrespectful. Like
Dang.
to
That's
like
like half the
some
appeal.
games like so you like take a game like Chrono Trigger, right? I have a
Okay.
CRT behind me with a Super Nintendo hooked up to it and a Chrono Trigger cart plugged into that thing. When I eventually force my son to play Chrono Trigger, it's not going to be like on one of these fucking Miu Minis or whatever, which I could easily install it to, right? He's got to experience that on a big 20-inch screen
Oh my god.
because it deserves better. It deserves better. You know what I mean? Handheld
He's
is already kind of like treating a game like, unless it's like a roguelike, a deck builder, or some shit. Like there are games that are completely acceptable to play in handheld mode only, right? But
See, we
some
all have
games,
our
it's
weird hills to die on.
nah, man. Like how often are you even wearing your headphones when you're playing a Switch game? And I'm not, maybe not you, but I mean like the public, right? You know, same with Steam Deck. You know, I got Bluetooth earbuds and I'll hook them up when I want to, but half the time I'm just like turning on my Steam Deck, playing a little bit with the sound low of whatever Metroidvania I'm playing, and
Sounds like
it's
a
kind of
person.
it's disrespectful. Damn it!
Well,
You
then
know, I've
stop
been,
disrespecting it. Put some damn earbuds in.
but I'm
What are you
saying
talking?
that the handheld kind of encourages that sort of disrespect. You know what I mean? What am I gonna sync up my buds every time I turn on my thing for 2 seconds?
I do.
Well, that's you play at, you don't have constant interruptions like I do. You know, if you want to, I'm gonna drink my coffee and play my handheld game for 3 hours, homie, I can't do that. But so it's kind of like start and stops, and you know, it's like for example, I've been playing through um, Ender Magnolia. In that
Mm-hmm,
game,
mm-hmm.
it's a gorgeous soundtrack, but the way I'm playing it here and there, it's like I should only ever be wearing headphones, and I'm not, and it's kind of insulting. You know what I mean?
You know, I came home from
All
work
to say,
yesterday.
I am
No, go ahead.
playing Metroid Prime in the most respectful way possible on the best hardware that's available because it's Metroid fucking Prime and it deserves it. Fuck you. What
That's
next time?
fair. That's fair. I came home from work the other day, and my wife was sitting on the couch playing my 3DS.
Dude, system slaps, dude.
It
I
does slap.
almost after watching the not Metopia, the
Tomodachi Life?
Tomodachi Life trailer, my Henry's been pogging hard, right? And I almost installed it's super easy to mod a 3DS. You just like literally 2 seconds in an SD card. I was gonna like, oh, I'll download the first Tomodachi Live because you know he's all poggers about it. So, but I didn't do it. He's just playing Minecraft.
All right.
Hey, Monster
Enough
Hunter
of this.
Stories too. We talk about? I'll save it for my 4-player minute. Yeah,
You're
that's a
playing
good
Monster
one.
Hunter Stories too?
Yeah, I got him into Monster Hunter through Pokemon. Yeah.
He still doesn't know the franchise is about killing
Yeah.
those monsters.
Well, he watches me kill monsters sometimes, but we'll yeah, the meme. But we'll talk about that in my 4-player minute.
All right. Well, then enough of this nerd talk. Let's move on. Let's talk about blueprints. Y'all been itching. Y'all been itching to talk about it.
Itching to argue about it. What's going on?
Itching to argue about
What's
it.
No,
going
I'm
on?
not. I'm not. Ah!
What day are you on?
24,
Uh,
Okay, you're deep in it.
25?
You're deep in it.
Introduce this game for people who don't know what it is, because
I'll tell you.
obviously,
You know that board game we used to play with Nolan all the time?
Yep.
He loves it. The
Trail at
fucking
House on the Hill.
Trail and House of the Hill, where everyone takes a turn, they place a tile, and they're all rooms in a mansion or whatever.
Yep.
It's like that, but a roguelike. Yeah.
And
There's lots of
Go
like
on.
puzzles and various layers of puzzles and puzzles within
Every
puzzles.
day, the house resets.
the house itself is a puzzle, as I understand it,
There's
right?
puzzles and puzzles and puzzles, and the inception of puzzles.
The whole idea is you're trying. The whole premise of the game is that there's 45 different rooms in the house, but you're trying to find room number 46.
Because
Because
it's your inheritance, but
yeah,
you only get the house if you find room 46.
yeah. So you come to the estate, you set up a little camp on the estate property, and then every day you go into the house and try to
Find room
explore and get
46.
as far as you can. Yeah. The thing is that like the house itself is set out on a 5x9 grid, so it's 5 columns, 9 ranks. And you're trying to get all the way up to rank 9. The middle spot on rank 9 or rank no, it is 9, right? Yeah, 45. The middle spot on rank 9 is called the
Oh
antechamber.
my god.
That's what you're trying to get into. You can get into it
Uh-huh.
from any like of the 3 open spaces around it, but they all have these closed doors. So you have to like go through the house and find levers to open one of those doors, and then you have to build a path to the door you open to get into the antechamber. Um,
Let's let Nick have his moment real quick.
but every
Sorry.
time you go to open a
It's-
door, you only have 3 rooms you can pick. Like it's completely dependent on
RNG,
RNG. Yeah, like what
Sorry.
rooms come up.
like most deck games.
And
I'm-
okay, this is a good example here too, because this is the parlor. This is one of the like a lot of these rooms have like a main puzzle that's like every time you hit this room, you can do this puzzle, and you kind of like you know what you're gonna get. Like the parlor always gives you jewels, which are a resource you use to unlock certain rooms. There's a different room called the billiard room where you do a different puzzle that always gives you keys, which obviously opens different kinds of doors. This one, the puzzle is based on these 3 boxes that have statements on them, and you know the general rule of the puzzle is that like there always has to be 1 true statement and 1 false statement. The other one's kind of just floating, and you have to read the 3 boxes and kind of like logic out which box has the prize in it.
Classic riddle.
Yeah. It's a puzzle that you're gonna do over and over and over and over again, and every time you draft that room, it ups the difficulty of the puzzle. So like the first time you do that room,
I
super
noticed
easy.
that.
The 25th time you do that room, it's a little more like I don't know, like the billiards room puzzle is
It got tricky.
a dartboard. Yeah, it's a dartboard that has like it'll light up different sections of the dartboard, different colors, and the sections and the colors are mathematical notations, and they're telling you like what to do with these numbers, and then you push the number on the dartboard that's the answer to the previous question. You do like 3 or 4 of those, and it opens up a secret compartment that gives you keys. And that's another one where like the first time you do it, it's like 2 plus 3 is 5, and you do 3 of those, and then it gives you the keys. And then after you drafted that room like 1,000 times, it starts going like, okay, 2 plus 7, square that, subtract this, like, divide by this, multiply by that, add the square of this to that, and you just kind of have to like keep it all in your head. And
Or pen and paper, but yeah.
or pen and paper. That's
so-
another thing, okay? This is this is
I'm trying to interpret
the
this.
game, and everybody who has been reviewing this game keeps telling me it's a notebook game, and a notebook has not come in handy yet. There's nothing. One time I wrote down a password. I figured out the password to connect to the network, and I wrote it down. And then ever since I wrote it down, it just has been stuck in my head, and I don't have to look at my notes anymore. But like, oh my god, I hate this game.
Wait, I can't tell if you really hate this game or not.
I don't
because
know
you can
if
have
I
a
really
bad-
hate this game or not. I don't
can
know,
have a bad
Nick.
run.
Okay, so like I've only played. I can't believe this is the number. I've only played 15 hours. I feel like it's been a lot more than that. 15 hours. I've done 24 runs, and a lot of people, like what I've been hearing is that the average is like people are hitting the antechamber at about 20 runs. So already I've got that bouncing around in my head, which it doesn't really mean anything because this is all RNG anyway, and a lot of the game is just kind of like figuring out what works, what doesn't work, like trying to build a strategy. And the thing about this puzzle game is that like you can really kind of get what's going on, you can be on top of it, you can be figuring shit out, and you're just not going to make progress for a minute because your run sucks, you know? Which a lot of is like kind of part of the main criticism that a lot of people have this game. Like, I think the reviews on Steam right now are sitting at like mostly positive.
That's where they were when
And
I first checked.
yeah,
Which
and
is crazy, right?
all the it is crazy. It is crazy, but like also the fact that this game has a 90 on Metacritic feels crazy. Like,
Yeah, I don't think it does. And the reason being because anybody who, and this is also why I think like Animal Well ended up scoring really well, also like around a 90, right? It's because anybody who like is professionally reviewing this game has to commit a lot of time to it. And the developers
yeah,
sent this game out like way ahead of review embargo. They knew what they were doing. They pulled Animal Well because they did the same thing with Animal Well. They gave them
journalists were
weeks
playing
and
this like
weeks and
last
weeks
year.
and like months maybe even to play this game, and they get them like on a Discord communicating with each other. It's maybe like the best way to experience a game like this before the internet gets a hold of it. So I get why they score really well, right? And then the few reviews that are not like 9s and 10s are the people who are complaining about RNG, who probably just got fed up with it and put it down. And I get it, because
It's
you can play a lot of it and maybe not get to the point where you start to vibe with it, because it can be a lot. And
my
RNG can,
okay,
you
so
can be
my
really
thing.
interested in a certain thread, but then just have to kind of put it in the back of your mind because you might not get that layout for a while.
So everyone keeps like assuring me that like I just haven't broken through yet. You know,
Is that
like
what they're saying though? That's not what I'm saying.
yes, I know that's not what you're saying, but that's a lot of what I'm hearing is that like, oh, you like, oh, well, yeah, you can maybe make it to the antechamber in 6 to 10 hours and get credits, but then there like all these mysteries are left. There's so many mysteries, so many puzzles, but like it kind of feels like you're telling me that none of it means anything, that like it
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter, that
Just
it's
such a
like I
big.
can go back later and do brain teasers for no reason if I want after I've beat the game, but
I feel like we had this conversation with Animal Well, and it's like you should not be like stressing yourself out about that aspect of the conversation around blueprints until you're either
I
there or you put the
I
game
finally
down.
got to a point. I finally got to a point where like things are start like I'm draft like just weird, getting weird. Like I don't know what is determining the drip of like new rooms. Like I'm starting
Yeah.
like I like the other day I played a run and like a new room popped up and I'm like, oh well shit, I gotta draft this, and I go in there and this room is all about like, oh, here's the next layer of the puzzle. Like, did you notice this? And it's like, yeah, I did notice that the first run, and I thought, I bet this is gonna come up again, and it didn't for 15 hours, and now here I am, I'm back to it. But like also the I don't know, the magnitude of the implication is so like, oh well, I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy. You know, like I'm not gonna play this game that much. That's so stupid.
I guess Animal Well has some stuff
Like
like that as well. Yeah.
like I don't know. It's like, oh, okay. You so right now I'm in a part where it's like I need to make progress every run, and like one bad run is gonna like kind of fuck me up on like one bad pull is gonna fuck up this run. And now it's like looking like the game is telling me, okay, we're gonna move into a phase now where you have to do like 5 perfect runs in a row. And if you fuck any one of them up, you gotta start over. And I don't even know
Is the game
why.
actually asking that of you?
I think it is, because I think the game is telling me that like now it doesn't just matter what rooms I get. It also matters where they are in relation to what other rooms, and they need to be like in this rank, in this
Okay.
row,
Okay. Okay.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Can I
that
can I ask you something?
sounds fucking insane right now. That sounds crazy.
Have you
And
been
like
getting stuff to like? Because there is like some meta progression like between runs, right? There's like
if
permanent
you're asking me
unlocks
like
and
permanent
upgrades,
unlocks,
and
yes, I have
I don't want you to go into
permanent
detail
unlocks.
because I don't know some
I
of
have
that
3 of
stuff.
the permanent unlocks. Like, there's this other thing too where it's like, oh, there's 4 of this thing you need to kind of turn on, and I've turned 3 of them on.
Okay,
This
yeah.
room, I fucking hate this room. The Holomirrors.
This is my
The
first time in it, so
the
I'm like, what
fucked
is
up
going
thing.
on?
Oh my god, the fucked up thing now is that like a really important room for me is the grand hall, which is a room that just has
Easy.
7 locked doors in it. Okay,
Okay.
and no, just shut up, Brad. Close your ears. I don't care. Like 7 locked doors, and like it is a very like it's the only reliable way I've found so far to find like one of the goals to get into the antechamber. But the problem is those 7 locked doors. By the way, always locked, so you have to have a bunch of keys. Also, they move what's in each one of them, so like it'll be like a like it's just designed to make you waste your resources and like say like, okay, this run's fucked, do another one. Like it almost feels like you're just fucking with me to make the game feel bigger than it is. And I don't,
This is fascinating.
what have they done to us? Like what is going on? I don't know. And like the scariest part about this is that like I am not firmly convicted on any of these opinions. Like I do still kind of believe that like one more session with this game is going to like make me take back
Could change
everything I'm
things.
saying right now. But like people have been telling me that's going to happen for a while, and then everything that they're like, "Oh, well, you've done this. Oh, well, have you seen this? Oh, well, have you noticed this?" And it's like, "Yeah, I did." And it didn't make me feel any better about the game.
You seem
And
very wound up. Like,
I
are you
think
so
you
you're
I
not
am-
I think you
enjoying
tuned
it?
some
I
people out.
fucking am.
Are you not enjoying it?
I kind of am, but
Well,
like
everyone had this fucking
it's
energy
so
about
like
Animal
the
Will,
next
and I'm
time
like,
I hit a fucking locked door when it's like, okay, I only have one path forward and I'm in rank 7. Let me open this one last door I have, and it's like, up, locked. Okay, I can't go back and get any more keys. I
Oh
didn't
my
unlock
God.
the keysmith, the locksmith. I picked up all the keys before, and I fucking used them all. And it's like the moment that you realize, like, nope, your run's done. It's so like
Deflating.
fucking kill me. Like, yeah, it's so bad. Like, it just feels so bad. And like, this is the only game I played for like 4 days before fucking Nubby's Number Factory or whatever. And like,
you just need a little bit of nubbies here and there.
I guess I don't
Binging
know.
this shit.
This is like,
Oh my God.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm actually solving puzzles or if I'm actually making progress. I don't
You know,
know.
there's a period in like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes where you can really feel like you're just sort of floundering,
your wheels.
But
flopping
there's
around.
always something. Like, there's a breakthrough somewhere. Like, Lorelei, every time I got stuck, it was because I didn't figure something out. And then I
Yeah.
did, you know?
Yeah, but
That
I'm
is
saying
not
like
what's going on here because,
Lorelei.
like, the stuff to figure out here isn't even really, like, that crazy.
Well, I
It's
don't know.
just-
I don't know because so I have a similar experience with this and Lorelei where I come across something and I don't know if it's a puzzle I can figure out now or if I should just sort of like move on and come back to this later. And Lorelei, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of running around and me not understanding if this is something I can figure out right now or if this is just a piece of a bigger whole. And I can find that frustrating if I'm sort of like throwing myself at a puzzle until I kind of figure it out, knowing that it'd probably be better if I just came back. And the not knowing I find really frustrating. Like I got to the most frustrating room to me has been the water pump thing because it's like needlessly convoluted, I think, until it's not,
yeah.
right?
And it's like, you
But
can't
I'm
get
like,
the
well,
water
I could
pump.
probably just like flip this shit enough till I start making some progress, and I eventually will maybe get it if I flip enough of these switches. And in my head, I'm like, oh, let me try to lower the water in
Oh,
this
wow.
one room
Don't
or
show
whatever.
this, Brad. Big. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
What?
Okay.
Oh god, I think you just broke him. I
Just
think you just
stop
broke
watching
him.
the
So
screen.
also
I
it's like
I
it's extremely non-linear.
knew there was something with that
It's
goddamn
extremely non-linear. I don't even know what he's referring to. It's
I'm
extremely
referring to the
non-linear.
fucking staircase you just showed us in the fountain out in front of the house that I
I
didn't
don't even
was
know what
there.
that's about. I don't even know
Like,
what that's about yet.
I don't
But
either.
now I'm thinking, oh, I got to go figure out how to like lower some water maybe. But now at the same time,
That
it's like
pump
I don't
room.
know how to work
I
that
hate that
fucking.
pump room.
I don't know how to make
But
that
if
pump.
you don't know how to work the pump, just go to the library and check out the
Okay,
manual
easy.
for the pump. And then the next time you see the library, when you draft it, that book will be in there. And when people are showing, no. When I realized why people were showing like these folders of like, look at all these screenshots I took, and when I realized it was because because this game is filled with manuals that you can't read whenever you want. Like,
You were spoiled by Lorelai.
I'm spoiled by better games. Yes, I agree.
Dude,
Like,
Lorelai and the Laser Eye is the only game that does it. That literally has every single thing you've ever like looked at in the game in your inventory
because
and
that
access.
wasn't like a contributing factor to whether or not you could like solve the puzzles. They
Okay,
give you a whole book of puzzles for the fucking locked doors, and they're like, have at it. And
sure.
like, first of all, Lorelai.
Lorelai's great. Also, the answer to
I
every
feel like
puzzle is like 1 of 4
we
years.
could bring
Okay.
Crispy's blood pressure down by just letting him talk about
No,
Lorelai for a couple minutes.
the funny thing is because I have heard a lot of discussion about this game on various podcasts from the Kool-Aid drinkers, and a lot of them almost all of them describe the feelings you're having are the feelings they had when they first started playing the game, where
I
you feel
know.
rushed, you feel anxious, you feel like
I
I gotta do
know.
this, I gotta do
I'm
this, I
on
gotta
a
do this. The
fucking
next day I gotta do this.
journey.
In every, I'm just saying, they
I know.
all said eventually you learn to let go of that and just kind of go with the flow. And that's when a lot of these people started truly enjoying the game. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but the experience you're having sounds like it's not unique. So maybe, so you
What?
need to
I
decide
don't.
to either
I,
stop playing
I
or
don't know.
just
I
go
don't
with the
know.
flow, bro.
I don't. But what do you
I don't know. I
mean?
don't know
What do
because
you
I'm not there
mean?
yet. I've had people loosely say things like, oh, some dude was just a handful of hours in, like I was like, it's cool and all, but I've only found like 4 puzzles. And then somebody said, no, dude, you walked past like 100 puzzles. You just don't know it yet. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? That's interesting, I guess. So when I'm playing the game, I'm like looking around a little too much, but at the same time, I'm worried. I'm worried I'm going to discover things before maybe the game more naturally wants me to discover it, because I'm always worried
Oh,
about the witness moment, right? Where I feel
oh.
like I discovered something way early in the witness that I should not have.
I think the witness has broken all of us. For sure. Because I'm definitely like I've definitely been exactly in that mode that you're describing, where I'm
Yeah.
like, where's the like, when is my world gonna be shattered here? You know, and like,
I don't know. You're either like having a bad time or you're setting yourself up for like the best moment ever. But
I guess, but I don't.
the fact is, you are
The
like, when's
fact
it
is,
gonna
I
happen? When's
can't
it gonna happen?
find
When's it gonna happen? Maybe
like
it's
I
happening.
haven't. I guess like, and I was freaking out when I first started playing this game too. I was freaking out the first like 2 hours of this. I had this exact same like existential like, oh god, what is this? You know, like I feel like I can't trust anybody. I feel like I can't trust anybody who talks about this game. I feel like every time
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's more to this, right? They're always like, yeah, there is. Have you seen the garage? And I'm like, yeah, it's a garage. You know, it's always something
But have
like
you
it's
opened the
always like,
garage?
oh, did you find the car keys? Oh, have you been to the laboratory? Oh,
Laboratory.
have
The
you seen
laboratory
the
rips.
hallway? Like,
Wait, what's up?
I think
Hallway.
I think this
I've
I
seen
could be
it.
off. I could be a little off here, but Crispy, it sounds to me like the people you're talking to are just the nature of the game and trying to have conversations with people. It's kind of like maybe those people are just insufferable.
No,
Talking
I
about this
no,
game in particular.
Well,
I
it
no,
is
I
it
mean
is
like
this type of game talking to people who know a lot more and they're trying to communicate with people
It's
who don't know.
insufferable.
It was
It's
probably
insufferable
insufferable talking
because,
about
like,
Tunic.
Yeah,
it's
a little
insufferable
bit.
because nobody actually wants to talk about this game. Nobody wants to talk about this game. Everyone, I wish I was like, I don't know, man.
You wish you were taller.
I wish I was taller. I
wish
wish
you
I
were a
could
baller?
see the past, present, and future simultaneously. I wish that, like, spoilers, like I feel like everyone's so gun shy about spoiling anything that they don't want to say anything. So when I'm just like, hey, can you tell me something that sounds cool that is gonna happen later to, like,
That's not
kind
the
of keep
kind
me
of
going?
question to
Shut the
ask.
fuck
though.
up, Brad. Shut the fuck
That's
up.
not it.
Give me
The question you're supposed to
something.
ask is like, can I get a little hint on this? Not tell me something
How is that not
mind
the
blowing
same
that's gonna
thing?
happen.
How's that
It's
not
not.
the same thing?
It's not.
I'm
Asking
not
for a
saying
hint
tell
on
me
a
something
puzzle.
I'm saying, like, tell me anything that demonstrates that there's a larger scope than what I've
Because
seen,
you
and
because
nobody
because
can
them
or will
telling
do
you
that.
that does not make your experience better. Them
It
telling you that is only
doesn't make
serving
it
to
any
maybe
worse.
convince you that this game is actually worthy, which has nothing to do with your own fucking experience.
Yeah, see, look,
What-
I mean, hi, did you reach the Star Trek room? Like,
Did you hear what I said?
fucking.
You're trying to have the big conversation about this game while you're playing it. Just play it or don't, and then have the big conversation later.
Look,
Nobody
I think
wants. Okay, I will, but nobody wants to fucking have the conversation. Okay,
That's not true. I played through Lorelei, and we talked about Lorelei, and it was great.
this
Lorelei's an
conversation-
88 on Open Critic, and this is a 90, and I think that's fucking crazy.
Well, it's been going down.
I think that's
Blueprints.
insane.
Oh, because
that's
they're
crazy.
that puzzle game that you finished versus the one that you're struggling with is night and day.
Yes, that's exactly it.
But it's
That's
you
exactly it. It's because
you
I'm
can't
too
compare those two
stupid
experiences.
For the blueprints.
You know what sucks?
Stupid.
Do you know what sucks? The first 20% of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Okay, it's true. It does.
All right, look,
It's
guys.
not true.
Look,
Not true.
Look,
False.
I just want to say,
Ridiculous statement.
as chaotic as this conversation has ultimately been, you have convinced me to put down South of Midnight and start Blueprints.
You already convinced yourself of that. You fucking DEI hating. I'm sorry.
All we've done.
What the
is,
fuck?
like,
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
What the fuck? How dare you? Oh my god. Oh,
Continue.
that threw me for a loop. Who? Crispy? Or me?
yeah. I don't know.
No, continue, Crispy. Sorry.
I think we need to just kind of let.
I haven't. You know what I haven't done? You know what I haven't done is I haven't watched other people play this game. I've never seen another person actually play.
I don't-
this
Maybe
game.
you should do that.
Should you do that?
I don't
You're
know
watching
because
me
I
play.
feel like my idea of how you're supposed to draft, of like how you're like literally they have like a book that's like advanced drafting strategies, and I took every tip I could from it and tried to play like that, and it's just like I think that book was put there to trick me because they think it's funny to kick me in the dick and be like,
What if it's- what-
day 24, whatever.
What if it's a vibes game and not the game you're trying to play?
I don't know what that fucking means. What is so vibey about it?
I don't know. But also, so like with Animal Well, everyone's like, "Oh, I gotta search every fucking pixel."
It's kind of
guess.
pretty. It's kind of
It-
pretty.
No, what I'm saying is, with Animal Well, everyone's like, "Oh, I hit credits, and I'm just supposed to search every inch of
Dude
this
is
game."
too
And I'm like,
focused on
how
getting to
do
the
you
antechamber.
not?
What do you mean? What do you
fucking-
mean? I'm too focused on getting to the antechamber. Stuff. What?
Okay, well, have conversations with the people who are clearly agitating you, or
Wayne
the person
Gretzky
you're
is
talking to on the
too focused
podcast.
on putting the puck in the goal. Like,
This is why that's driving you crazy. First of all, you're talking to Skylar, and I know he's the one who's been winding you up on this game, but you're on a podcast right now, and I'm talking to you. Okay,
As chaotic as it seems, believe it or not, this is a podcast.
I'm saying I truly enjoyed Animal Well because I just liked being in that world. And I wasn't like trying to 100% the game because that was my goal. It was like genuine curiosity and me enjoying discovering secrets and being in that world and vibing with, the look and the animals and the sound effects.
I
And
just
that's
fucking
why I
knew this
wanted
was.
to see it all. If
I knew
you're,
this was gonna be the conclusion. I knew
what do
this
you
is where
mean?
this was going.
What the conclusion is, oh, just wait. This thing
No,
happens
the
and this thing happens and this
conclusion
thing happens. It's
the
amazing.
conclusion
Believe
is
me, it's a
like
90.
it's a controversial masterpiece and it's not for you. You got filtered.
Who's saying it's
You
no one's saying
got
it's not
left
for you.
behind. Dude, every fucking conversation I've like followed
With
online
Skylar?
about this game. No. I don't talk to fucking Skylar. I don't know who that is.
Wow.
But like
Not rude.
like people talking about this on like Twitter or anywhere. I mean, I guess mostly Twitter. But like
There's your problem.
the conversation always goes to like, I don't know, dude, I don't think it's for you. You should stop playing. Like
Nobody here is telling you that that's the case.
what does this game become? Oh, well, if you're asking that question, it's not for you, buddy. Like
Twitter is a cesspool. It is bad.
Okay, stop fucking criticizing the source of the information stream and like just listen to what I'm saying.
Listen to what I'm saying. I didn't say it's not for you. I said that a lot of people who truly love the game were at where you are at.
Hey guys, the train has left the station on this. So why don't we give
Guys,
this game
this
some
is such a fucking industry plant. Like this is a lie. This is a lie masquerading as a video game.
I just want
How
My
do you
sincerest
prove
hope-
that correct,
I don't know.
Crispy?
You don't.
My
If you're trying to
sincerest
prove
hope-
that correct, you are going to have a bad time.
I
listen,
don't.
listen, everybody shut the fuck up. My sincerest hope is that we're gonna stop having this conversation right now, and when we come back in a week, Crispy is gonna be like, "This game's fucking amazing."
Yeah, and I
Or-
don't.
Which is
I kind of
possible.
don't want to have the. I don't want to stop having the conversation now anyway because it's just gonna leave with like oh, Crispy's all worked up about blueprints. He hates it, like, which is not
I don't think that's true.
They
I don't think
entirely-
that's-
entirely
talk about
true. I don't hate it. I'm really frustrated. It's making me feel things. It's getting under my skin, and not in a way that I'm like
Dude,
comfortable with.
maybe we've
but,
been making
like,
the wrong comparison, but do you know how mad I was at Outer Wilds while I was playing Outer Wilds? Sometimes you need the pain before you truly appreciate what you're experiencing.
pleasure?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so mad at Outer Wilds while I was playing Outer Wilds, like hostile towards that game. I think it's one of those.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't typically. I feel like I don't usually resonate with arguments of like this game is wasting my time. Like, oh well, like like I believe in letting a thing be what it is and trying to accept it on its own terms and letting it breathe and giving it its proper context.
Right.
This does feel too long.
And this is, definitely a game that kind of needs to be accepted on its own terms. But I can't be. I don't know.
You're not.
I don't know.
The thing is,
I
I
wanna hear the
agree with
person-
what a lot of you are saying.
I want to find like somebody. I want to talk to the person who played 200 hours of this game and then was still like, it's all right. Like,
No one. Why do you want to talk to that person?
I
Why
feel
do
like
you
you
want to
want
I
to
want to know
No,
what their experience was.
Crispy, change that question. Why do you want to be that person?
I don't want to be that person. I want to know if that person exists. I just want to know that they're real. I want to
It could
know
be
that,
you.
like,
It could be you.
what am I supposed to
Hey. Let's end this. But also, how about something substantive? How about they let you walk a little bit faster? What is that going to break?
Yeah. I don't
What is
know.
that going to break?
You
You
got
don't
your
move.
little sprint.
And it's not a sprint, dog.
Oh,
That
it's a
is-
hustle.
It's a hustle.
It's a
at
hustle.
most.
It's a hustle
Not
button.
even, dude. That's like your little, when you're trying to cross like a crosswalk, and now someone is like waiting for you, so you kind of like fake move a little faster,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you're
you
not
move
really moving
the
faster.
the upper
Yeah,
body.
yeah. So they know
Yeah.
you're putting in a little more effort.
Yeah, I see you.
That's what that is. That's what that
Hey,
is.
can I just say, y'all, this is obviously kind of a chaotic conversation, but near the very beginning, somebody in chat brought it up, and I had a little meltdown because I didn't realize until tonight that Blueprints is a play on words.
Oh, shut
Nick.
up. That is.
Nick.
I
Didn't
also
even
don't
occur.
like that title.
God
I also hate that.
damn
I
it,
also
Nick.
hate the fucking
The title's good. The title's
fucking
good. You're
pun.
wrong.
Like, oh, blueprint.
This is the a la carte thing over. Oh my god.
Hey,
Nicholas!
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. It kind of is, but well, first of all, you can't blame me for the a la
Actually,
carte
I
thing,
will
guys.
say.
Oh, we
I will
can.
say I haven't thought about the title in a while, and now there is kind of like making some thematic connections that make a little more sense.
Whoa. He's
All right, well,
feeling
this will be
blue about
But within the first like 2 hours, I was like, this is too clever by half. Too clever by
Dude.
half. This whole fucking game. Too clever by half.
You
Dude,
clever by half.
You're the
okay.
blueprints because you're sad, or the red prince because you're angry. When you need to be
I'm so
the
fucking
green
angry.
prince. You know what I'm saying?
That's not real. There's no green. Is there a green prince? There's no
The green
prince.
prince. is
Shut
what
the
you
fuck up. Green isn't a
bring to the
thing.
game.
Shut up. Is
All
there
right.
like a missile silo room that I can?
Stop it.
Okay.
No spoilers.
Okay, hey
That was
Brad.
a question.
Oh,
Brad, before we wrap up with the 4-player minute,
yeah.
Fantasy Critic, what's going on there?
Oh,
What's up?
fuck,
What's
here we
up?
go.
What's the latest?
Oh boy.
Can we not?
Quick question before
Can we
I
not?
start. Okay,
Oh,
it's not about you,
Chris
bro.
Davis had a bad day.
It's before we do that, can I ask a question? Did I mention that Henry started playing Monster Hunter Stories 2 last week? Because I thought
No,
I
we
told
didn't have a podcast
You
last
did. You did.
I was talking about it with Crispy in our
Yeah, you
Monster
did
Hunter night. Okay,
when we were playing
okay.
Generations Ultimate.
So I'll save that for my 4-player minute. Fantasy Critic, we'll make it brief, I guess. There was some major things that happened, like the Nintendo Direct. Games were purchased. My roster is full in April, which is
I want you to
crazy.
know, I
did not expect it. Honestly.
I did not obviously win Donkey Kong, but I went in hard. I was the
Everyone
second
won Donkey
highest
Kong.
bidder. I bid $61, hoping that someone put 60, and I would just beat by. But I should have known Brad would go for 69 because.
Well, no,
why
I mean,
not?
here's the thing. For me, it's not the W that it would have been for a lot of other people, which is also kind of why I went for it. I wasn't expecting to win it necessarily, but I would have slapped myself if I didn't at least try, right? In because I found myself in a situation where I could actually win Donkey Kong. Because to me, Donkey Kong game, very, very likely the Mario Odyssey team. Now Nintendo's never going to say it, but Koizumi, who is the person who's been in charge of Mario since Galaxy and Odyssey, and they started with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. He was there at the booth just watching people play and are like, okay, why is Koizumi watching people
Maybe
play
he's
Donkey
a
Kong?
Donkey Kong fan.
Maybe. Well, I mean, he did do Jungle Beat. Anyways, it's probably the Odyssey team. All this to say, and it looks incredible, Red Faction and Gorilla, right? It has real potential to be 90 plus. And you know, in Fantasy Critic, 90 plus is a killer because you get double points. I was worried that game was going to end up in the hands of somebody that already has a 90 plus, because if you look at what people have drafted, there's a lot of potential 90 pluses in play. You have GTA, you have Metroid, you have Silksong, games that are now we know are coming out. I guess GTA we still don't know, but
We don't know Silk Song's coming out.
Even
well,
some 2025
I mean,
games.
they said 2025. But
They said
recently-
2024.
They didn't. They said 2022.
They said 20.
No,
Oh,
no,
God.
like they've since publicly said
But Nick,
that
all
was
that
a delay.
gameplay they showed.
No, but I mean, whatever. Nick, I think you have a good chance of Silksong scoring for you. But I'm saying when it does come out, it's probably going to be 90 plus, right? Hades is another one that is a risk. But Ed has Mario Kart, which is, I think, going to be a 90 plus for sure. He has Hades, which has a good chance of releasing this year.
1.0,
Also
yeah.
was announced for Switch 2. If he also gets Donkey Kong and has the potential for 390 pluses, it's too dangerous. Like, I have a strong roster this year. I think I'm doing good. A lot of my games are out, so my scores are very high. But like, I haven't picked up a lot of L's. My big L
Except
was
for Kingdom Come Deliverance.
exactly. It was my counter pick. So the only way I could get Donkey Kong is if
true
I
goat.
held that, because I could have super dropped it, but I would have, had to replace that with another counter pick, and it would have used up all my money. And to me, it was all about denial. I wanted to make sure that no one else got it, or the wrong person didn't get it, right? Like Ed, or like Crispy, or like, there's a lot of people who have really dangerous stuff. Wait, stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Hey, Brad.
But my roster's full. I threw out a couple of $1 bids just in case all the smoke was going to be on Donkey Kong. I could like get away with picking up some easy $1 cheap bids, and I got those as well. So I filled up my roster. I mean, I still have a counter pick to fill, but yeah. Now the other big news that Chris Davis, I guess, probably wants to talk about is that Oblivion Remastered was leaked. And as you know, remaster and partial remake is a banned tag. So, and there's been a lot of discussion on the Fantasy Critic Discord.
So it's not a remake?
Well, it's that gray area of where like
you know how Ninja Gaiden
has a Listen to me, you motherfucker! I'm explaining it.
Hurry up!
I'm explaining it. It looks like more than a remaster, but they're calling it a remaster, much like that Metroid Prime remastered situation last year, which was a shadow drop, so much so that there wasn't a lot of discussion about what that should be tagged as when it got released, because it was shadow drop. So it's not like many people were really bidding on it. So everyone just had to decide. They're like, oh, well, they call it remastered, we'll just call it a remaster. Maybe they actually landed on partial remake. Some of these tags, like partial remakes and director's cuts, they have not been around forever. Those have been new tags that have been implemented in recent years to try to accommodate for these gray areas. Now, the biggest thing going against Oblivion Remastered is that Bethesda is calling it remastered right now, which helped influence
because nobody
Metroid.
knows that to fucking use the right terminology.
Now
it seems so obvious to me.
Now the thing is, most people are agreeing, okay, maybe it's not a remaster, but because they're using that terminology and because it looks like a lot of mostly art and maybe some quality of life, that there's probably going to land on like partial remake. But the problem is our league does not acknowledge the partial remake tag this year. So this has to be considered a full remake according to Fantasy Critic for Chris Davis to score points. Now,
how much did you spend on it, Chris Davis?
Only a little bit. Like, it was my first thing after the draft.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Here's what's spicy about it. No one's countered it. Here's what's spicy, right? Is the rumors are, and like it's more than a rumor. Jeff Grubb pretty much said it is what's going to happen, that it's going to be announced and shadow dropped on the 21st. Yeah. Because it's a shadow drop situation, and because all that we know are these leaks, Fantasy Critic won't make a decision until we see more of the game. But we're not going to see more of the game until it's released. So
they're already taking a little bit of action, though.
Even in the best case scenario where they do categorize it as a remake, that's not going to happen and probably until the game is out. So Chris Davis has to decide whether he is going to keep it on his roster or risk being counterpicked this week. Because we can try to counterpick it this week for an easy 0 points if this ends up being categorized as a remaster or a partial remake. But if he decides to drop it, drops process before counters. So even if we try to go for the counter, he can get rid of it before we counter it. But he has to decide if he wants to do that. It does look like more than just a damn remaster, I'll say that. But the Unreal Engine, the Unreal...
Oh, yeah.
There are screenshots out there, yeah.
Screenshots with comparisons.
Now the thing, Chris Davis, is there's been a lot of like weirdly tagged things in recent years of like, maybe this was probably not right. One of them was the Metroid Prime remaster probably shouldn't have been a remaster or a partial remake, or it should have been a partial remake. There was this Paper Mario, which probably shouldn't have been tagged as a remake, but a lot of people kind of acknowledge those.
This is not a
mistakes.
Remaster.
But again, partial remakes are if the bones are the same usually, but like it's mostly just art that's redone. It's ending up as the partial remaster. Again, the biggest thing going against it is that they are calling it a remaster. even though that's kind of silly. It's not going to ultimately influence the decision that much, but it will influence the decision. Now, you were bringing up Ninja Gaiden Black 2. That wasn't like an Unreal Engine like remake of that game, but it's still got a partial remake tag on
Yes,
Fantasy Critic.
that's correct.
Also, Metroid Prime Remastered, a very similar thing, like all new art, there's some new quality of life and control stuff. I think this might be more significant than that, but even that was not tagged as a remake. So I think he's in some trouble. I think he should probably try to drop it. I also think people should probably try to counterpick it maybe if he decides not to drop it. But I think he's cruising for a bruising, honestly.
Cruising for a bruising.
Oh,
Fuck,
but we all know how Chris Davis likes to play.
Well,
Fast and loose.
if I would
he
like
likes to live life dangerously.
if I may mention a couple things here.
Yeah.
Okay.
First off, Fantasy Critic is already taking action. It is no longer called in the entry for the game Unannounced Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remake. It's now Unannounced Elder Scrolls Oblivion Re-something.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
confidence
Way
ain't
to
high right now. So
Yeah.
yeah. But this is similar, like Brad was saying with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, that this is a UE5 Unreal Engine 5 art visual screen with supposedly the bones of Oblivion operating underneath. So
This
it
is
would
gonna
count
be
as a
partial remake.
partial remake. So, I mean, I'll probably end up dropping it, but who knows?
But what
That's
if
a
he
decision
does
for
it
another
because
day.
he's being spicy? I mean, I think people should
He'll
still
get
try to
fucked.
counterpick it just in case he does try to keep it, because that is probably an easy 0. But who knows? You never know. Like, they could blow this thing out and say, like, look, man, we're calling it remaster, but yo, check out how crazy this shit is. They got Skyrim UI in there, or Sky UI, whatever. I don't know. Like, for all we know, like, it could be quite different, and they might ultimately decide. Ultimately, it's up to the guy who runs Fantasy Critic. But
Yeah.
I
I mean, it's also interesting
he's made some questionable calls in the past, honestly. So you never know. It could end up leaning in favor of remake.
All right.
The Shadow Drop is kind of crazy. It's a little exciting. Like,
it's not just a shadow
Oblivion's
drop;
cool.
it's a physical shadow drop too. They're also
I
releasing
will
this game physical.
not be playing it anytime soon. It's just too many fucking things.
Well,
Yeah.
I used to roll
many
bears
things.
in that game, so maybe
You did.
Yeah.
Now
We have
this
something
would be a
now.
great opportunity to get back into streaming, Brad. Roll some bears, get our numbers pumped back up.
Yeah, that's bringing us back to the glory days.
I did want to ask. I did want to ask real quick. Going back to Mario
Oh,
Kart.
and Ed got Tony Hawk, by the way, which is maybe
Yeah, he stole that from me, that fucker.
He did not steal it.
With
That's
Mario
how it
Kart,
works.
do you think that Mario Kart might be subject to a tax because of the $80 price?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna get.
I mean, it
this
looks
game's
like
too cool tax. It's gonna be
I mean,
105.
here's the thing: if it was literally just another thing that looked like basic ass Mario Kart, I would be inclined to say yes. But considering it does look like it's a much more ambitious take on Mario Kart, I don't think the price is
Like,
going
the
to hurt it
only
as much.
ambitious, like, this thing is gonna score off the charts because they've made Mario Kart Horizon, right?
Yeah, but like at the same time, like it's the world's first $80 game, like standard retail price of this.
Also, no, it's not. You noob.
You did
Mario
let me
Kart
fucking finish,
64
bitch.
was $80.
Yeah, I said of this century.
No, you said ever.
No,
Look,
I said-
price really only comes into play when like there's a huge disparity between like what you're paying and what you're getting, or like a apparent disparity. And I don't really think I see a
Yeah,
disparity
$80 isn't
in this
crazy.
case.
Like, I don't blame them at all, considering they're going to take such a beating on hardware, probably losses. I get
Now,
it.
anyways,
You
yeah.
make it up in software. You always have.
you do.
um,
Yeah.
But why are people so? Do y'all not have GameFly? Like, do y'all not have mobile phones? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem is if like GameStop dies and Redbox already died and GameFly dies, and there really is not too many ways to obtain games cheap, like for cheaper, secondhand, whatever. Like, if those options go away, it really does suck for people who can't afford to like play games. But there used to be a lot of options, you know. Some of those options were just waiting. Maybe not with Nintendo, but also a lot of people who buy a Switch just want Mario Kart. So like if you think about it and you're just buying one game and only playing one game and that thing's coming bundled in, it ain't that bad of a deal. But
well, I'm not talking about
I'm
the
speaking
average
from like
Joe Schmo that is
2025.
buying this game. I'm talking about the critics that are going to be reviewing this stuff.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
do you think they may
Critics,
take
what
like
do
an
critics
opportunity
do?
to say this is ridiculous that we're paying $80 for this?
I don't think that.
Homie,
When have they
not
taken
with like
I don't-
Mario Kart and stuff?
They didn't
They
take
get their
a
games for
stand
free.
about
They get their
anything
games for
else.
free. They get their games for free.
Yeah,
no.
they're spineless. They've never taken a real quantity.
And I
mean,
don't think anybody is going to like even if they were going to try and make a point about like the price of gaming going up, I don't think they're going to like hold it necessarily against Mario Kart specifically. It's just
unless
like, it's an
unless a
inevitability.
game is like seriously like content lacking, that would happen. Like if it's a full price game, it doesn't matter what era, like what. It's more about that. The line is this is a full price game, quote unquote, and it has very little to offer. That was the same whether it was $50, $60, $70, or $80. Like it feels like a ripoff that you're paying a game that's quote unquote full price and it offers very little.
If it was Mario Kart 9 and it looked just like Mario Kart 8 and they were charging full price for it, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it'd be a different story.
Yeah,
but games were literally Phantasy Star 4 on the Genesis was $99.99.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I
Okay.
understand. I'm just thinking about like every time that the retail standard price has gone up, like when we went to $60, like some games took beatings in their ratings. When we went to $70, that happens. But like this is happening just a
I don't
couple
remember that
years
happening, but
after
whatever, that's
we did the $70 transition.
I mean,
And
Tears
it's-
of the Kingdom was their first $70 game, and I don't think that took a beating in the ratings.
I mean, I look at some of the discourse out there, and I see the way these streams are going with Nintendo
I can see
PR.
user reviews tanking.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe user reviews tanking because people are going to just be upset about the fact that it costs so much.
Absolutely, no matter what the game
But
is.
like critical reviews, I don't think is going to be a problem.
I think you have a little bit too much faith, but okay.
We'll
But
see
you
what
also,
happens.
all
We'll
these
find out soon.
bougie critics who are, living on their trust funds anyways. They don't care. Like a lot of them are happy that the cost of games are going up because, it means
It kind of makes what they do more relevant, right? Because people are going to be more picky about
because
what
at the
games they
same
buy,
time
which
they're
makes
doing
their
all these
opinion matter
exposés
more.
about how like the industry's unsustainable because people can't, the projects are bloated and no one's paying their workers what they're worth and stuff. Like the cost of games going up just helps that versus hurts that in an ideal world.
In an ideal world.
But really they're just trying to counter like, tariffs and shit, right? So
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do? Like literally, what are they supposed to do? Take enormous fucking losses because people don't want to pay games what they're worth?
Maybe
Okay, so-
have smaller games with their diverse libraries that are maybe don't have.
We were supposed to
thousands of
already
people
have
employed on them?
pre-ordered this thing. We were supposed to have already pre-ordered this thing. This shit is day to day, man. Everyone's trying to figure this shit out. Maybe they'll make smaller games now, but I'm saying
No.
Shit's crazy.
It is crazy. All right, guys, we got to move on. We got to wrap the show up. And I beg of you, please, 4-player minute. Let's keep it kind of brief.
My 4-player minute this week is that I got my son into Monster Hunter. This motherfucker was like, "Yo, I want a story game. You got any story games? Like maybe some with monsters?" I thought he was like joking or something. I don't know, like because he'll go into the channel on the Switch where you can watch like trailers and stuff and like learn about stuff, and he'll see me playing a game and he'll start like talking about something from that game of like, first of all, you can barely read. Second of all, I'm not even that far in this game. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's been watching some like featurettes and stuff. Anyways, I don't know if that's what happened, but I got this dude on Monster Hunter Stories because unlike Pokemon where they can't pay a fucking voice actor to save their life, the production values in Monster Hunter Stories do are through the roof for a fucking Pokemon game. So I'm like, yo, you could just watch some like sick ass cutscenes and ride around on a Rathalos and shit. He played through all of Miitopia like a year ago before he even knew how to read. And he was just hitting buttons until he beat that final boss, man. Literally didn't know what he was doing. And I was like, well, if he can get through that, he can. Now he actually is reading. He can get through Monster Hunter Stories too. So he's been playing that. It's his first Pokemon game. And
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe he's setting the bar too high because Pokemon's kind of trash. But he's getting into Monster Hunter. The problem is in Monster Hunter Stories too, there's a lot of monsters. But they have monsters from like older generations too that I haven't necessarily fought and the generations I've been binging in the past decade. But he's renames them all. Like in Pokemon, you can like call Pikachu like Jeff or whatever the fuck. He's renaming them all, and I don't know what any of these fucking things are because I can't find out where their actual name is. They're just all weird names. And he comes up to me, he's like, "How do I spell, Govar?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You made that up. I guess you can decide how to spell it." But he's like, "No, how do I spell Govar?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever, dude." So yeah, that's kind of funny, but he's enjoying it. I mean, he's still a Minecraft boy at heart. I could tell he doesn't like games that aren't like super sandboxy, because that's what the kids grow up on, freedom and creation. But he's plugging away. He gets really hyped about rare eggs and stuff, so he's excited, man. You know what comes after this, right? The real deal.
The real deal, the actual Monster Hunter.
Which I would say is like an old maybe like Rise, but no, it's actually just Wilds because that's the baby Monster Hunter right now.
I hope he's a longsword main.
No, not no son of mine. He's gonna be a fucking longsword man. Just own him.
Alrighty. Crispy, why don't you go next?
No, I don't want to go. Okay, I'm sorry. Here, look at what I'm doing. Look, I've got notes and I'm writing them down while I'm playing. The weight room.
All I can see is Tony Soprano when you do that. Sorry.
I'm sorry. The weight room. HOU.
He's taking literal notes. Playing blueprints.
Okay. Cool.
You
I don't
for this
fucking know. Yeah, I'm too wound up. I'm too close to this thing.
I have a feeling
I need to turn in my
6 a.m. playing.
I need to turn in my badging gun.
I've been playing with Malia. Let me tell you, it is slow moving, and we usually play at the end of the night of very long days, so we kind of find ourselves falling asleep because you walk too slow.
It is a little sleepy. It's a cozy, sleepy game.
Weepy.
Infuriates me to no end. It's. I mean, I'm playing it right now. I'm cracking this egg. I'm like, you know what? You want to take me on a journey, blueprints? Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let me crack you open and suck out all your succulent, delicate little juicy bits.
Has anyone told Nolan about this one? I feel like Nolan and Bernadette could play this together. It'd be hype. I mean, he loves that fucking House on Haunted Hill game.
If only we had a way to communicate with him.
Okay, but for real, still plugging away at season 7 of Next Generation. I'm getting close to the end. Getting close to all good things.
Nice.
The series finale. I just watched Gambit Part 1 and 2, which is excellent. Fucking Picard and Riker basically go undercover on a pirate ship to track down ancient Romulan artifacts. It's really cool. It's really fun. There's a weird. Oh yeah, I just watched an episode that had a young Kirsten Dunst in it, like Jumanji era Kirsten Dunst. She played the daughter of a delegate who's on board the Enterprise who has like weird telepathy. It's a Deanna Troi.
She was in Jumanji?
What are you talking about?
Kirsten
She was
Dunst?
the girl in Jumanji.
Oh, I don't remember that.
She was a child. Yeah, the older sister. Just like how fucking Kristen Stewart was the older sister in Zathura. Weird.
Really? I've never seen
If you get
Zathura.
cast as a teenage girl in one of those curse board game movies, you're probably gonna have a pretty good career.
I've never seen Zathura.
It's not bad. You might think like, this
Is
dumb.
Dag in that one? Because really, he's the only one I
It's no Jumanji though. Let's be
Dag.
real.
Dag.
It's no. I mean, it's no Jumanji because Jumanji's like a huge blockbuster with Robin Williams in it. Like Zathura wasn't that.
David Allen Greer, does he come back for the sequel?
No,
to
none of
Jumanji?
them. Oh yeah, dude, I forgot he was in Jumanji. Yeah, he was the cop. No, there's no crossover whatsoever between the two movies. They're just both movies about board games.
Dude, I think I'm gonna watch Zathura this weekend with the kids.
Yeah, Zathura. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's got some action, got some stakes. But yeah, Star Trek. I haven't made it as far as I wanted to since last time we talked. I got in a couple episodes. I'm going to be hitting the one where we meet Worf's human brother. We've already met Kern, his Klingon brother, but did you know he has an adopted human brother who's played by
I do now.
the guy that played Paulie in Goodfellas? That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yes.
young
and
is he?
it's a good
Is he young?
story, huh?
Is he? How does he just look like Paulie?
Yeah, he's just Polly wearing like 24th century civilian clothing, which is like
fuck yeah,
rompers
dude.
and shit.
Man.
Like, yeah, and the
Polly
whole
Wombat.
story too is that like so Worf's adopted human family, like they're all Starfleet, the Roshenkos, they're like enlisted men in Starfleet, right? That's why he's a Starfleet officer, is because his adopted father was a Starfleet officer. His brother, his older human brother, joined Starfleet but couldn't hack it because he's too much of a rebel, you know? Paulie couldn't hack it. He just didn't fit in the mold. And now he does like schemes and all kinds of stuff. But like apparently he's like an anthropologist now, and he meets these like pre-war like primitive people and then like finds out their planet's gonna blow up, so he like basically tricks the Enterprise into like moving them to a different planet, which is a huge no-no. That is a violation of the Prime Directive. Let me tell you, you cannot fuck around with the Prime Directive.
I wish I had the heart to cut Crispy off.
Except all the
Yeah.
times that
You're right.
the Prime Directive
But
gets
this-
fucked with.
I haven't watched. Yeah, the Prime Directive is something they're fucking with all the time and debating the ethics of, but like it's serious business. I actually haven't watched that much Star Trek though, because I've been watching a lot more One Piece, because I just hit like a really good rhythm in that. I got through Impel Down. I'm on Marineford right now. Fucking shit's getting crazy. That show's really good. It only took like 400 episodes to get good, but it's fucking really good.
Nice.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Chris Davis.
Zathura was a Jon Favreau movie. Good call, Skylar.
Huh. Okay.
Chris
I like
Davis.
Severance, but I hate Ben Stiller, so it's complicated.
Okay.
I don't like Ben
Chris
Stiller
Davis.
either. I agree.
Who does?
I don't know. I just
Okay.
don't like him.
I love Zoolander.
Well, I would have made a
Well,
lot
Zoolander's
more
pretty good.
progress last week on Adafall. I probably would have beaten him by now. But then Lower Decks came in the mail. And
Did you watch all that?
I blazed through it. Like 4 days I finished
man.
all the seasons.
Oh man,
It's really this is a good TV show, man.
Dude,
it is-
It's so good.
It's a cartoon for children, bro.
It's not a cartoon for children.
It's
a
not.
cartoon for people who were fans of Next Generation and
Grown-ups watch The
Voyager
Wire.
and Deep Space Nine.
grown-ups watch.
There's that classic Brad attitude of
It's
just shipping
good.
people
It's
It's
good.
really
for
good.
heart.
I will
really
say-
fun and good.
The first season has some uneven pacing. The jokes come at you too fast for you to catch
You
like
know-
half of them. But season 2, from then on, they nailed it. It's
Season 1 felt like there's a couple episodes where it's like the studio was like, oh, Rick and Morty's popular, do that, and they like
Yeah.
kind of did stuff like that. And then
100%.
as soon as they were like, okay, we'll give you a second season, they were just like, we're just gonna make the Star Trek show we want to make, and it's fucking sick. It's so good.
yeah.
Like there's so many characters that are like pretty broadly sketched in the first season 2, where you're like,
Mhm.
oh, this is gonna be this guy's shtick, and then they become fully fleshed out character, like Shax.
Yeah.
Shax could have been such an annoying one note character, and he's like one of my favorite Star Trek characters now. He's so good.
It's really good.
Oh yeah, that show's so good.
Every character in this show is entertaining. There is no bad character, and the depths that
Except
they
for
went
Peanut
to like wrap this around existing Star Trek narratives and just make jokes out of this shit. It's kind of incredible. The amount, and what's even better is the amount of actors they got to come back to play their characters.
Oh, like anybody, yeah, they got everybody.
Yeah, there was
anybody
if they did
like a cameo of.
If they could not get that actor, they did not put that character in the show. It feels like.
I mean, honestly, it's like, I mean, like, what else were half of these people doing? Like,
I don't know. Collecting royalties or working on other shows, basically. Tindy is the best character on the show, easily. There's not a bad character at all.
Tendy's so
Tendy's
cool,
great.
and like, what's great about Tendy is that, Orions have kind of been like this iconic part of Star Trek, especially like the original series.
Oh yeah,
but like nobody has ever cared enough to really like world build with them or like kind of develop what they would be like. And then Lower Decks was like, no, we're gonna do a bunch of Orion stuff. We're gonna do a bunch of Pac-Led stuff, which is just insane. Like
yes,
what a crazy species. Just be like, I want to see more of these guys.
They turned them into the primary antagonists for 2 fucking seasons. Like, it's out of
until they blow up their own homeworld. Because
that's
how any story with the Pac-Man has to end.
Of course,
yeah. It's great.
Are young people getting into Star Trek these days?
Well, if we live in a just world, yes, but we don't.
I think people will always find their way home, right? But
yeah,
it ain't Pokemon, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of what like Discovery and Strange New Worlds especially kind of hits that like super Hulock like Tumblr note that I think
is it working? I guess the one that worked was actually the J.J. Abrams ones, right?
Yeah, as much as I don't like that. I mean, the first one is good, but I've seen it too many times. And the problem with J.J. Abrams movies is that like they're just not meant to be watched a bunch because they don't make any fucking sense. Yeah. And Beyond is good. I like Beyond because it's like, I don't know, just an episode of Star Trek. Like
it's a go down to the planet adventure that's 90 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like,
what's wrong with the con one?
Okay. I am before this conversation spins out into another 20-minute diatribe.
Cumberbatch.
Into Darkness? Yeah, that movie sucks dick. I hate that.
Okay, I know.
Is that Nick's favorite? What's going on?
No, I'm just Brad. I told you I want to get up in like 5.5 hours. And
okay, Nick, go. 4-player minute, go.
Oh
my talk about Star Trek.
Because I don't want to cut anybody off in the middle of their final thoughts.
If it's Star Trek, does it really matter though?
Fuck off, Brad. The only criticism I have about the series overall is that season 5 doesn't feel like a proper ending because they already took care of endings for most of the other characters by this point. So it's kind of like just treading water, and they just finally wrap up something with Boimler that really doesn't necessarily need to be wrapped up that well. I don't know, but it was. I
think like once they knew it was their last season, they're like, okay, we gotta just like do anything that we want to do now.
Yeah.
To finish this off, like what they came up with, I thought was a lot of fun. And
sweet, Nick, tell us about Dexter.
Ooh, we got our first look at Dexter Resurrection today, and woo, I'm so fucking pumped. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. My final thought is I started watching the Devil May Cry anime for no real particular reason, I suppose. I was like, I like Devil May Cry. I think I'm going to get more out of this. I feel like I'm more interested in watching this anime than maybe like the Castlevania anime because I'm not as invested in the Castlevania lore or whatever. I don't know. But I've watched the first 2 episodes of it, and I'm kind of digging it. And I apparently I'm in the minority here. A lot of people aren't happy with it. I
heard
guess.
that
I don't
makes
know.
you a bad person.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I had the first 2 episodes I thought were a lot of fun. They gave
People like that with
Lady Rocket
Castlevania as
boots,
well.
man. It's fucking sick. Like it's look. Devil May Cry. We've had this conversation. Like Devil May Cry is so stupid over the top that like
yeah,
it doesn't even matter what they do. Like it's all stupid.
I felt that way about
all
Castlevania.
stupid.
Like people all of a sudden were like taking the story and characters seriously in Castlevania. Like
Farrakhan is like acting like I'm blaspheming right now by saying I'm it's an insult to Devil May Cry that I'm liking this anime. Like, dude, it's all bullshit. It's all just excuses to like put cool like action sequences on screen. And the first 2 episodes were pretty good. The main villain is this like Alice in Wonderland like rabbit dude, and like it's I don't know, it's fucking sick. I'm digging it.
You know what's funny though, Nick? Like
I can't say I'm gonna enjoy it all the
I
way through.
usually am where you're at. Like, oh, it's all bullshit. Y'all need to like relax. I mean, it's not like this shit was Shakespeare. I've been that way about like Resident Evil, and like you've been on the side of the intense Resident Evil fans who are like, no, this is serious business. I don't want any bombers landing in volcanoes.
I mean, I just think there's a line that was crossed somewhere.
The line hasn't been crossed for Resident Evil, whatever.
I mean, the line for Devil May Cry, there was never a line for Devil May Cry.
True. It's always,
I think there was a line for Resident Evil and it was crossed.
3 was good.
But hey, look, I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching it, and maybe it'll turn to shit.
Talk about how Devil May Cry 2 is still secretly your favorite, and how
it's
that's
not my favorite, but I do
need to revisit that game because it's repulsive. For you to say that, it's repulsive.
It's not my favorite.
I don't want to see any fondness levied at Devil May Cry 2. That game is.
I definitely don't think Devil May Cry 2.
That character.
Brad, shut the fuck up. You're ruining my 4-player minute. Look, I have never had anything really nice to say about Devil May Cry 2 other than I like certain characters from that game. But
have you ever revisited out of curiosity?
Yes, I have. Wow. I mean, a long time ago. When did they release like the HD remaster on like PS3?
Whoa, you played through 2 back then?
I played through all 3 of them back then.
We were on a podcast then.
I know.
2 is ass.
I know.
Dude. It's ass.
2 is. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is not good. Look. But I think I've never tried to tell you that Devil May Cry 2 is like a great video game. I think the only true controversial opinion I have about Devil May Cry really is that Devil May Cry 5 rubbed me the wrong way and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That's a weird take. I mean,
but it wasn't because it like crossed a. It's not the same reason I hate like.
It's
fine,
but like
5.
the fact that you come off like more angry at Devil May Cry 5 versus 2 is what's crazy.
I definitely am more angry at Devil May Cry 5.
That's insane.
But I do acknowledge that Devil May Cry 2, and I think it has to do with it. Devil May Cry 2 is bad, but there's also like 3 pretty good games after that.
Pretty good.
Devil May Cry 5 is kind of like the last game they released,
and it was good.
I didn't like it. I don't know. It just kind of soured my opinion.
I bet if you
on Devil May Cry.
replayed that series, you would feel differently about 5.
I mean, you're probably right, but when am I going to find time to do that, Brad? When am I going to find time? There's not enough time to do all these things.
Cutscenes for Devil May Cry 3. That's all that matters.
If we just block his access to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, he can hop right on that.
Look, I don't want to get into a bitch fighting thing with people in chat about
or whatever.
Devil May Cry. I'm just saying, like, I didn't really love Devil May Cry 5. Whatever. It's great that y'all loved it. It rubbed me the wrong way. But so did Devil May Cry 2. Whatever. The anime, I'm just saying, I'm surprised. I'm enjoying it. That could change. I'm only 2 episodes in, and there's 8 or 9 episodes. I don't know. So we'll see what happens.
What is that even about?
I do think it's funny that like I was like, hey guys, I'm watching an anime, only to find out that it's not made in Japan.
It's weird that you even thought it was made in Japan.
I don't know. Why would I not? Everyone's calling it an anime. Why would I assume it's made in Japan?
Man, they have different vibes.
I don't pick up on those vibes. I don't watch anime. I don't know the difference.
Alright. I think there was
I
an actual
literally
like,
don't
Devil
know the
May Cry
difference.
anime made in Japan, right? Am I crazy?
I turn this on and it looks like anime. Oh, by the way, the theme song they chose for Devil May Cry anime is fucking Limp Bizkit Rollin'. And I was like, what
That's
the fuck?
perfect for Devil May Cry.
It is
Roland
kind of-
Paparochi, motherfucker. They
It
know.
is. It is kind of perfect
2001.
for Devil May Cry. It's
2001
kind of
is when
perfect.
Devil May Cry came out.
It's kind of perfect. It's kind of perfect. I don't know.
Should've been
Anyways,
the one to fill your dark soul with light.
for the love of God, we gotta stop. We gotta stop this podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
He's never
again,
watched an AMV.
Dude, I watched all the AMVs. All
Dude,
the
my
back in the
favorite
day.
AMV was Gundam Wing, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. It was
Oh, that's a good.
Of course.
Oh no, it was a
If
techno
Kryptonite-
remix. It was a techno remix. That's what it was.
Ew.
If Kryptonite is not in this season of Devil May Cry, they fucked up.
I had a Three Doors Down Kryptonite AMV for Dragon Ball Z that was equally awesome. Not a
Dude,
remix,
so
just
sick
like,
because
just like-
because in the techno version of it, there's a part where it's like doo, 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 doo. There's like all these like doo, 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 and it's like a scene of like fucking the wing chasing Epion through a tunnel, and he's like firing his gun, and he's like dodging all the bullets. It's so sick. God, Gundam's cool.
Super
Whew.
Saiyan 2,
And on
Gohan.
that
in the end.
note,
Oh yeah, when he
It's-
fucking breaks.
Yep. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I apologize for kind of like the inconsistent recording schedule we've had the past few weeks. It's been a little weird, but we will eventually get back on track next Tuesday.
We are back on track.
Yeah. This is the first of us being back on track. Next Tuesday, we'll be back with another episode. So, guys, in the meantime, join us in Discord at discord.gg/4player. We'd love to have you there. We'll be back next Tuesday to record another episode. So, in the meantime, guys, y'all be good to each other, play video games, and good night.